Sills, and we are 38 days away from the start of the National Football League season for your Philadelphia Eagles. And we got pro football tonight. Pro football tonight. How about that, man? Hall of Fame game. And we get a chance, without a doubt, to see some football. It might not be complete legitimate football, but I'm glad to see the guys are going to be back on the field again. And again, we get an opportunity to watch some ball tonight. By the way, yes, we're going to make sure there's no echo or anything. So, okay, absolutely, Reyes. Echo prevention. This is what we do in the world of Big Sills. We make sure we give you quality with content. God bless too, Suave, and I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for really starting the program out each and every single day like that. You bet, baby. Let's rock. Hey, Prince, I want to hear every one of you today. As I said, 38 days, man. Hey, by the way, has anyone heard Lane Johnson? Did he show up for the walkthrough? Do we have any update on Lane Johnson and the walkthrough? Did he show up? Hey, Prince, to you it's yelling. To me, it's conviction. Unlike a guy putting a tattoo of your favorite player, Jalen Hurts, on his calf, Big Sills has conviction. How you doing? Heard nothing. Nobody's heard anything. Okay? Nobody's heard anything? We're going to get to that here in a minute. By the way, I want to start it off before we get to the topics here. How many people are concerned on what you're hearing the first 6 days of practice for the Eagles? How many people are concerned? And I'm going to show you the difference between mentality of an ex-player versus people that covered the team. How many people are concerned? How many people are looking at it like, damn, Sills, it's only practice? How many people look at it like that and go, it's really only practice. Nobody should really look at it in any other way. It's not really a big deal and whatever, I mean, how do you look at it like that? Are you concerned at all with what you're hearing? Let's see. Concerned. Man, practice is very important, okay? Let's see here. Yes. Wow, Sue's concerned. Tricks, concerned. NFL only gives you a couple of hours. You better take full advantage of it. Sills, everyone wants to know why you were late. I'm not late. I'm on Big Sills time. It's 9 days till the first preseason game against the Baltimore Ravens. You're correct. Kimberly says no concern. Not concerned. See what Twiz says. Sills, what do you make of Burrow struggling under center? He's a way better quarterback and has better weapons. Might be trying new things, Twiz. I'm concerned that our number one draft pick can't get on or stay on the field. Sills has no respect for JAKIB Sports. Well, you must be new to the deal then, brother. I have two of my clients in NYC now listening to JAKIB. They think we are hilarious. I love it. Thank you so much, Kim. I appreciate it. By the way, my aunt loves you. Here's Reyes. Slightly more concerned about Lane's absence. Okay. I heard John McMullen say something today, and maybe this is just a different perspective. John's a beat writer that covers the team, correct? Me, I've been in front of the mic and behind the mic. There is a scoreboard. Does anybody know what the scoreboard is? There is a scoreboard. People are keeping score. Does anybody know what the scoreboard is? Anybody? You have an idea? Every single time I hear someone say it's only practice, you've never really been through a training camp. And you don't understand what training camp is. Okay? Vic said no scoreboard, but you know better. Okay, Twiz? Passing stats have nothing to do with where I'm going. Yes, a little concerned, but also last training camp, or maybe 2 camps ago, Hurts didn't throw any interceptions. Hey, Bird Gang, you're not doing the same thing you did 2 years ago to follow up last year. You're doing something completely different. Fangio's being humble. Okay, folks, I'm going to tell you why there's a scoreboard. If you're taping it or you're filming it, which they are every single practice and every single drill, there's a scoreboard. Let me ask you this. You think the third wide receiver spot is still open? How the hell do you think they're going to have that come to Jesus conversation if Mekhi Lemon should be in that 3 hole? Or if they should put Elijah Moore or Darius Cooper or whomever in that 3 spot? That's scoreboard. How do you know whether or not Markel Bell is going to beat out Fred Johnson? You think that's scoreboard? How do you get that scoreboard? You know how you get that scoreboard? You get it through practice and watching film on those respected drills. One-on-one, team, that's scoreboard. Winning and losing, players have no control of that. When it comes to you winning a spot or having an opportunity to be a swing tackle, dude, that's what the players are playing for in training camp. So every time you hear somebody say practice doesn't matter, you think it matters to Fred Johnson? You think it matters to one of those edge rushers that Howie signed this offseason on which guy is going to be 3rd or 4th in the rotation? You think it matters at the safety position? That's a player's scoreboard. So don't tell me practice doesn't matter. It's the only way the Philadelphia Eagles, as we said yesterday, evaluate who's going to play when that Commander game comes around. So when you say that, those are people that really don't, and I'm not saying John doesn't know, but I'm just giving you a different angle on that. If you film practice or any drill in practice, people are keeping score. So when Vic says that, it's a media thing, and it's for you, the fans. This is the only way players find out, hey, where am I on a depth? How do you create a depth chart? Well, you film practice. Since you have a limited number of practices or reps, so if you miss practice or practice poorly, those are issues. You stack good plays on top of good series and gets you the playing time. Correct, especially in Philadelphia. I know my point is just being he had a mediocre season after performing great in the training camp, so shouldn't take the camp performance as end-all. I'm not. But if I had to give you an answer, yes. That's not, hey, dude, whatever, guy. You're just looking to start shit. I have great respect for John McMullen. Working on new things. If this persists late in the camp, then I'd be concerned. It's been a week. Hoss, you're halfway through. You're halfway through your practice. Drake May is balling, throwing bombs like it was the Iraq War. Sills, you missed Kyle Super. Let me go back here and grab it. Sills, Lane Johnson might pull a Barry Sanders and retire abruptly. I don't know what to make of that. We're going to get to it here in a minute. Get this. But who is saying practice doesn't matter? I think they're saying veteran guys like Lane can afford to miss practice. Who's they? And I agree with that take right there, one of the very few that you've had that are decent. Mekhi Lemon, you're comparing him to Cooper DeJean. Okay. Remember, Cooper DeJean didn't see the field for a month because he was injured. You're under the assumption that Mekhi Lemon is going to be an impact football player then. And if he's not, that'll play itself out too. These practices are golden opportunities right now for backup offensive linemen due to all the offensive line uncertainties. Correct. Completely correct. And here, I'll give you this. I'll tell you exactly what these practices are important for. And when it comes to potential playing time, here's who this matters to. Watch this here. Okay, who's going to be the interior swing guard? Drew Kendall? Okay. So Drew Kendall's going to be that guy. All right. Hope he plays well in camp. The swing tackle, Fred Johnson or Markel Bell? There's a battle there. It matters to those guys. Hey, you think it matters to Ty Robinson if he's going to be part of the rotation? Ebiketie and Epinenza, you think it matters to those guys on who's going to see rotation? I think it probably does there. How much playing time is Trotter going to get? It's all going to be based on game film. Hey, by the way, you're looking at, again, when people are talking about the safety position and who's going to play safety. Are you going to sit there and you're going to be really happy with Michael Carter playing in the nickel? Vic said it the other day. I feel comfortable with him there or at the safety position. Is it going to be Marcus Epps or is it going to be Michael Carter? You think that's scoreboard? That's scoreboard, dude. Seals, do you think about the report of the Bucs have no plans to trade Vita Vea per Jenny Lane, ESPN Tampa? And his agent came out this morning and also said, I don't see it any other way that this doesn't end in a trade. The Bucs can say all they want. Vita Vea doesn't want to play in Tampa anymore. I wasn't trying to start shit. I'm not saying you are, Bird Gang. It's all good. Sorry, Seals. Didn't mean to come out. Listen, all good, bro. But when people say that practice doesn't matter and that you shouldn't be concerned, well, I mean, you're limited in these practices. You're completely limited. Okay? And not only are you limited, but everything's filmed. Bro, you'd be shocked. Pass rushing drills, running bags, hitting the sled, all of that is filmed. You go back with your position coaches. Hey, you see you're not getting your head front side on the sled. Make sure you slide your foot and your right hand a little bit more. Engage, peek, engage. That's what the coach is going to tell you. And in your individual practices, like when you hit the sled, bang, hit the sled, peek, disengage. That's the routine. Left, right, punch, peek, disengage. They watch that shit. And if they see poor footing, they're going to tell you. That's scoreboard, guys. That's total scoreboard. But from what I'm hearing from J-Mac, it's the other guys we are coming off of having A.J. Brown for the last 4 years. So these reporters aren't used to seeing this. Well, what did you think you were not going to see? You're going to see a lesser group and a lesser talented people. There's a reason why those wide receivers are journeymen. Sills, you still think Dickerson retires early or think he has pissed about medical staff pushing him back? No, I think he's talking about retiring. It's either going to be this year or next year. I think that guy does not hear in 3 years. Stay hydrated, my friend. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Sills, I only think that this is our favor is that Philadelphia uses the first 3-4 games to work through issues because they don't go real hard in camp. We'll know what we really have in week 6 or 7. Hey, Bob, I tried telling people that last year. You're not a very good team. People didn't want to hear that. Because in the first week, people were jobbed and snowed because you got out to a great start in Fool's Month and in Liar's Month of September. You're really not going to know, and you're right, to that extent, you're not going to know until you get into October what kind of football team you have. Sills, you see any positives? They're all on the defense. And the comments being made about Markel Bell. Let me get to that. Guys, hit the like button. Appreciate you. Mike Quick will join us at 3:30. We will talk with Mike, and we will get Mike's thoughts on Mekhi Lemon, the new offense, and we will talk to Mike Quick to start ramping up as we get closer to the start of the NFL season here. So we will talk to Mike, and we'll get his thoughts coming up on the second hour at 3:30. Practice for sure matters. If you think it doesn't, you're trying to compensate or just being disingenuous. Practice is where you learn how you put out a good product on Sundays. Correct. Oscar, what's up? There you go. We're going to rely on Barkley to catch the ball in space. It's part of the offense. Okay. So I want to ask you something here that ESPN had a conversation on today on First Take. Oh, real quick. Let me go here. Okay? And let me start here. So Fox came out under the most pressure in 2026 via Eric Williams and Bucky Brooks. These are the players, according to Fox Sports NFL, that are under the most pressure heading into 2026. Overshawn, number 15, linebacker, Dallas Cowboys. Number 14, the newly acquired Jared Verse. How much impact does he have on that Browns defense? Remember, he's taking the seat of Myles Garrett. 13, Kenny Walker, coming over from Seattle and being added to the Chiefs at 13. 12, Alec Pierce getting his new contract. 11, George Pickens. Can he do it again? Number 10, Tagovailoa. Can he reignite his career in Atlanta? Myles Garrett. Can he give the impact that he had in Cleveland, in Los Angeles with the Rams, and get the Rams over the top? Like Charles Haley got, remember something, this Myles Garrett deal is going to be in the same room as Charles Haley back in the day going to the Dallas Cowboys. Number 8, Justin Herbert. I agree. Number 7, A.J. Brown, newly acquired wideout, New England Patriots. Number 6, Bryce Young. Is he going to live up to the number 1 overall billing and start to show people who he is as that number 1 overall pick? Number 5, Travis Hunter. Terrible year in Jacksonville. It ended in injury. Number 4, C.J. Stroud. Are they going to give him a contract extension? Number 3, Puka Nacua. Dude, you're going into a year and the Rams haven't extended you. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. I agree. You want $63 million? Show me. And under the most pressure in 2026, according to Fox Sports, is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, number 1, is under the most pressure of any player in the National Football League. That's not me saying this. The national media, the local media. They all know. How is Josh Allen not on that list? That's crazy to me. Josh Allen has to carry his football team with limited talent on it. Just me, Sills. Those lists these people come out with, to me, mean absolutely nothing. Can't tell you how many times they are so wrong. Well, wait a minute. You don't think there's pressure on Jalen Hurts this year? You're going to, again, here's the difference between when people say, where's Joe Burrow's contract? Where is Lamar Jackson's contract? Jalen Hurts only has $20 million of money being owed to him next year. Okay? The difference between Hurts, Burrow, Allen, and some of these other quarterbacks, Hurts has very limited guarantees on his contract next year. Those other guys are fully guaranteed. Well, again, only $20 million, correct. His 2027 year is not guaranteed, except for half the money. Actually, less than half the money. So, are you going to send him into your year 2027 with $20 million in guarantees? Not if they're the agent, you don't. None. It's completely irrelevant. There is, but just saying, the list could easily be ignored or disproven. That's not the way the Eagles are acting. So, as Eagle fans acting like Jalen Hurts, a good quarterback, is his ass-no Hall of Fame quarterback. His numbers is trash. That one ring got people thinking he's God. Oh, okay, Daff, I did miss a super. I'll make sure I get back there. I appreciate you doing that. All supers go to the top. And I'm sorry, Daff. How you doing, Big Sales? Since our receiver room is weak, what about you suggest to Howie that, and how would you fix it? Or are we screwed, or does it mean we will run more? I think it's going to mean you're going to run more. Why? Daff, think of this. You're going to go make a trade for a quality wide receiver after you drafted two dudes in that April draft, and you signed Dontavian Wicks, and you signed all the rest of those guys? That's a sign of panic. That's a sign of panic, dude. Now here, the reason we bring this up is for this. Now, this was ESPN this morning. Has the criticism of Jalen Hurts been fair or foul? Okay? Has it been fair or foul? I think people forget this. Tom Brady was under significant pressure about 6 years ago. Don't you guys remember after that nightmare that they lost a regular season game and people were going to the podium and they were saying, is it time for a quarterback change? Don't you remember? There was a big backlash, and Belichick was saying, we're on to Cincinnati. Well, Coach, do you think that there's a chance that you'll change the quarterback? We're on to Cincinnati. Brady would go on and win 3 more Super Bowls. Just because, and Stephen A. Smith is right, just because you won a Super Bowl doesn't exclude you from criticism of what's going on right now. That's not a blanket reason not to excuse somebody when it comes to what you're watching and what you're seeing. What's happened is he is exactly right. Nobody's dismissing what Hurts has accomplished, but you can't dismiss what you're seeing. So you got to put it in context. Hey, congratulations. Jalen won a Super Bowl. No doubt. But you can't dismiss what you're watching and what you're seeing. That doesn't give you a blanket excuse not to be critical of what you're watching. It's a great take, and it's the correct take. Just because he won a Super Bowl, he's not oblivious to criticism. Some of you think because he's got a Super Bowl, he's not within reach of being criticized for not performing, which is an asinine thing to say. Tom Brady, who had won multiple Super Bowls, was under the same criticism after a poor performance, and people were saying it was time to make a move. The Boston media was all over Belichick. And they were saying this, hey, isn't it time to make a move? That was Tom freaking Brady. You don't have any room when people say Hurts' offense and Hurts' passing game has stunk for 3 years. That's no indictment on the Super Bowl. That's an indictment of what you've done the last 3 years as a passer. And some of you want to give Jalen Hurts a blanket pass because he won the Super Bowl and that he's off limits from criticism, which is fucking crazy. Seals, I believe Hurts is highly criticized and deservedly so, but he did get AJ and Smith paid. Also, they have not utilized his skill set since 22. Well, now you're talking about organizational decision. If you think about it, the last two quarterbacks, they have handled poorly in the back end of their careers. Hurts and Wentz. Because they think it's organizational, not player in the roster. They think it's them and their brilliance and how they look at things. Look at how they just hired another offensive coordinator with no experience like Kevin Patullo. He's Kevin Patullo 2.0 until proven otherwise. And yet, many in here want to cast Sean Mannion as the next guy. He's not the next guy. As of right now, on August 6th, he's Kevin Patullo 2.0 until otherwise proven. How can you give people the benefit of the doubt when every single internal hire or anybody that's been a first-year play caller has failed in Philly? I don't know what J-Mac was saying about Cole Payton throwing interceptions in practice. You're supposed to, and you beat Vic's defense by threatening the field. Purdy did. Hey, get this. Do you know what Tom Brady said about practice? Every single time he got into practice, he took it as a game. Everything he did. And every time he competed in practice, he was practicing being great. How can you practice being great 1 week or 1 day of the week? Don't you think being great is a daily thing? Some of you will never get that. When you're great every day, every minute, every second, not on Sundays. What makes you great is your process. That's what makes you exceptional. All these quarterbacks have nothing to prove but Jalen. Again, dude, who has won all the pressure on him is literally crazy. You guys are literally hating. It's no other way to explain it. It's not hating. It's called welcome to professional sports, dude. When you make 50, 60 million bucks and you're the head of the snake, be prepared for the good and bad. Hey, Marshall, when you're a pro athlete, it's not about kissing cheerleaders and cashing paychecks. It's about performing every day. When you're great every day. And get this, you are not exclusive to criticism when you stink, including Brady. Get this, Marshall wants to give Jalen Hurts a blanket pass because he won the Super Bowl, even if he blows. That's what he wants to do. That's what a lot of you want to do in here, is that you want to give Hurts a blanket pass, even if he sucks in the passing game, which is not true. I don't think Hurts' criticism should be all on him. Why? It's on Allen, it's on Lamar, and it's on every single quarterback that plays in the NFL in 32 cities. Holy cow. You guys, again, you want to give Hurts a blanket pass for what he did 2-3 years ago now. And any kind of letdown in the offense or not showing he's elevating as a player, that's off limits. Hey, Hurts won a Super Bowl. Here's Marshall's take. Hurts won a Super Bowl. Those guys haven't done shit. So anything he does, even if he blows, blow it off. It's on everybody else. It's on KP. It's on the coaching staff. It's on the players who didn't show up. It's on A.J. Brown. Hurts is off limits because he won the Super Bowl. That's bullshit. That's a bullshit take. It's a total bullshit take. If you suck for 3 years throwing the ball because you won a Super Bowl 4 years ago or 3 years ago, hey, don't worry, everyone. He won the Super Bowl. It's okay. And he's not subject to that criticism. That's bullshit. Then Jalen Hurts should be compared to Josh Allen. Dude, Josh Allen and Burrow are also under the gun on delivering. They're not subject to not have criticism. Who says they're not? He should be compared to Mahomes? How are you comparing a guy to Mahomes who's been to 7 straight AFC title games? But Sills, I don't give Josh Allen a fucking pass. He's got to win. I tell you, Allen's a better player, and he is. You don't like the different conversation. That's a different convo. He's under the same pressure up in Buffalo to deliver. But talking about who's a better player, it's not a conversation. Thanks for the super, brother. Get this. Hurts definitely higher on the MK Tower. Bro. Again, see what I'm saying? Hurts gets a blanket pass by guys like Reyes and Marshall for something that he did. And if he stinks at what he's doing currently, that's off limits. Ask yourself that. What are you, a host on WIP? Putting tattoos of Jalen Hurts on your asses? It's preposterous. J-Mac said maybe he reached his ceiling. I take that as he's uncoached. No. Dude, Jalen Hurts is a smart football player. He's a smart player. Here. I'll tell you what I like about the kid. Okay? He never lets go of the rope. He fights for every inch that he has when it comes to playing on a football field. He's never going to surrender. And he's going to work his ass off and not to make the same mistake twice. You don't have to be exceptional at that position to win a Super Bowl. You have to be functional and dedicated to your process. And he is. Sills, my fitness mentor always said to me, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. It's the best advice she ever gave me. Let me tell you something. I'll say it again, Kim. The toughest days of my entire athletic life were with Jimmy Johnson on a day-to-day basis, Monday through Friday. Saturdays, that was a day off. I never worked harder in my life and striving for perfection with Jimmy than any other time in my life. That's exactly what you want, Sills. Dude, what I want is the guy to get better. I'm not wishing for his demise. Stop with these numbers. You can put all these numbers all you want up. The reason they're changing the offense is because they're not happy. You can freaking put all those numbers up, Forrest Hill. It's irrelevant. Wait a minute. Forrest, you don't think the Eagle coaches know all this, and yet they want a 24/7 facelift, and you won't accept it. I have no problem with Jalen Hurts being number one, but not having Josh Allen on that list is crazy to me. What are we judging? Why is he not on that list? My question, Sills, he's not on that list under the most pressure for what? Carrying your football team? He's under pressure to win. He's got to win it for sure. Hey, dude, not everybody wins the last game of the year. And I'm not giving you a pass on that. Dan Marino doesn't get a pass. Dan Marino is the greatest passer of the football in NFL history. He didn't get a pass. And what keeps Dan Marino off the top of the list as the greatest quarterback of all time? Because if Marino had delivered a Super Bowl, it would be no debate who the greatest thrower of the football was. And that was Dan Marino. He's judged. If Dan Marino can be judged, Jalen Hurts will be judged. Keep doing what you want with those. Man, every single Jalenite in here is exactly what was talked about today on First Take. Because the guy won a Super Bowl, you will give that man a blanket pass and a hall pass, and he's not open to criticism, which is crazy. I find it funny. People bang on a quarterback who has the most wins than any quarterback the last 4 years and has been to 2 Super Bowls who never missed the playoffs. What the fuck are we doing? I don't know. Ask your football team. Philadelphia refuses to see what they're doing. Why don't you ask your Eagle coaches and Howie in what they're doing? Because they're changing too. I'll put it like this. Most teams don't want or care about winning. And it shows heavily with conversation. Again, here's what Marshall is telling you. Thanks, Marsh. Marshall's telling you, because that guy won a Super Bowl, he is not open for criticism. You can take that any way you want. That's exactly what he's saying here. Tom Brady had won 4 fucking Super Bowls, and they were talking to replacing him. Isn't it time for Garoppolo? We're on to Cincinnati. Isn't it time for Garoppolo? We're on to Cincinnati. He forgets that. Tom Brady was open for criticism. Oh, but not His Highness. That's absurd, that take right there. Hey, he's been to 2 Super Bowls and he won one. God forbid the offensive passing attack blows the last 3 years. It's someone else. It's KP. It's the players. It's Stoutland. It's AJ. He's not open for criticism, according to Marshall. I see. Sills, get this. Sills doesn't give a shit about winning. He wants Pat. Bro, so does the Eagles. Sills, I like the hot seat narrative. Hurts typically runs hot under pressure. Prove that you can win without weapons like this. Get all the money. If he folds, he's got to go. There's nothing wrong with that take, Jimbo. But when you're Marshall or Reyes or any of the other Jalenites, because he won a Super Bowl, Hurts is off limits. No way. You can't blame him. No way. LeBron James gets criticized for being 4-6 in the playoffs, but not His Highness. Over the last 20 years, I've only seen 3 quarterbacks on offense with limited skill set players win Super Bowls. Mahomes, Brady, and Roethlisberger. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the quarterbacks y'all named that have been in this league longer haven't done anything. Don't get my criticism. That's my issue. No. What I'm saying, hey, look, you're right. Allen's got to win the Super Bowl. Allen has won, but he's got to win the game. Personally, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Josh Allen's got a higher win percentage than Hurts. Or it's right there. They would probably glaze Brad Johnson, too, if the Buck team stayed the same. Just because you win doesn't mean you're a top 15 production. That's why he is bottom 15 with all those wins and appearances. Listen, there is no question. I'm going to say this too, and I'm going to echo a little bit of what ESPN said today. When it comes to a clutch moment, is that a guy you want under center when you need to try to win a game? Of course. Of course. You want to be fair? Yes. 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 But don't get it confused. Nobody is subject to not being criticized. What the hell is that about? Well, Bryce Harper's not open for criticism if he goes 0 for 28. What? Hurts has 2 of the greatest performances of all time, and they both came in a Super Bowl. Tom Brady is the most wins in the history of a fucking Super Bowl era, and he's been criticized, but not your boy. Make that make sense. Tom Brady's been criticized, but not your boy. I swear you all hate Sills because of Sills. Allen has to do too much because, like always, Buffalo doesn't get enough talent around him. Been there, MO forever. Actually, I've made this point here, and Michael will never get it. Take a look at what Buffalo was before Allen showed up. They were dog shit. Remember something too, dude. And remember something. Okay? He didn't walk into a great organization. He walked into a dog shit pile. Who criticized Brady? Well, Slagger, I'll give you a little hint. After they got blown out by Kansas City, the Boston media and the national media was at the podium with Belichick saying, "Isn't it time for a quarterback change?" Belichick said, "We're on to Cincinnati." Bill, it looks like Brady's lost a step, and it looks like Brady's not the same player. We're on to Cincinnati. Brady would go on and win 3 more Super Bowls. They were criticizing him because Garoppolo got out to a 3-1 start. You forget that. Who criticized Brady? Jesus criminy. I'll help you out, kid. It ain't just Allen. It's that. All of those guys. Hey, dude, did you not hear me? And Mars, I'm not ripping on you, bro. Did you not hear me say Dak Prescott put a bullseye on his chest and he put it around his neck by wearing that championship Dallas Cowboy relic from 30 years ago? Well, dude, you want to put that bullseye on yourself? That bullseye's now bigger. You think you're a championship football team? You better go out and play. You want to attract flies? You want to attract the bees and put honey on you by putting that shirt on you? You need to answer the call. Appreciate it, bro. With great power comes great responsibilities. The more you win, the more you're hated. I think it's the more you're revered. Why would you hate Brady? For what? Being the greatest of all time? The people that hate LeBron are imbeciles. I have issues with LeBron off the court. On the court, I have none. Dude, if you want to put hey, look, if you want Michael Jordan and I have to take LeBron, all right. If I have to take Jordan or you take LeBron, no problem. It's like Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White. Well, Sills, I'm taking Lawrence Taylor. All right, well, I'm great with Reggie White. Tom Brady was criticized for cheating, not as... Bro, will somebody please tell this guy he was being criticized for his play? You don't know what you're talking about. Why do you think Jimmy Garoppolo was traded? Wow. Are you an imbecile? Seals, I think you're missing some of our points. I'm saying Jalen Hurts deserves to be number one. But players like Dak, Burrow, Allen should also be on that list. That's my argument. I think every single starting quarterback in the National Football League should be on the hot seat. If you're paid $50, $60 million, yes. You're open for criticism, and you're also all open to having all the flowers. Absolutely. You get all the cheerleaders, you get all the money, and you take all the shit. The problem that you get is if you have a decent conversation like this, everybody in here will stop doing this. They'll start having a conversation like, well, hey, he won. He's not open to criticism. I thought it was a great debate today on ESPN. I'm like, listen, nobody's dismissing what he did. But you can't dismiss what he's doing. But you want to blame others. Sills, you're correct. I remember everyone turned their backs on Brady after Kansas City game and the Panther game, but ended up kissing his ass after he beat Seattle in the Super Bowl. That's exactly how that went down. That's exactly how that went down. I don't remember him being criticized, Tom Brady, for his play. Really? Of course you don't. People make fun of Dak wearing a Super Bowl shirt. You rather run from pressure or you embrace it. It's shoot or get off the pot for Dak, and he knows it. We'll see if that mindset works. There's a part of me that respects that because he's put himself out there. Get this. Now what you're going to do is Philadelphia, because it makes sense, is going to attack messengers of truth. The media is full of analysts or retired players from other teams hating. Get this. This is what this guy says. Everything that Hurts has done in the past, you can't go anywhere in the future if he's not playing well and criticize him. That's his narrative. His narrative, watch, by his own words. The media is full of analysts and retired players from other teams hating on the Eagles. They got owners that try manipulating the narrative, like Jerry Jones tries to manipulate a clown franchise. The Cowboys are not a clown franchise. They're the richest franchise in the world. That's not a clown franchise. And on top of that, dude, your narrative is, and here's your narrative, because Hurts won a Super Bowl and been to another one, he's not open to any criticism. That's your take. My only issue is just singling Hurts out, Sills. Deep down, you know that's not. Listen, wait a minute. Singling Hurts out is only because I cover the Eagles. Do you think Matthew Stafford, for as great as he was in Detroit, being 0-3, do you think that was going to be a narrative on his career? That he never won a playoff game as great as he was in Detroit? And he had Megatron. Of course it was going to be. Here, Kelly not winning a Super Bowl. Is that a narrative? Of course. Marino being 7-9, not winning a Super Bowl. Of course. There was a narrative on Elway being 0-3 until he won the final two. He's still underwater. He's the LeBron James of quarterbacks in the NFL. Maybe the most gifted player of all time. He's 2-3, like LeBron's 4-6. Is that a narrative? It's a fact. How do you not see this? This is professional sports where everyone is open to getting all the flowers and all the criticism. Nobody is subject to not having a fair conversation. Hell yeah, I agree. Look at Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan has Hall of Fame numbers. Okay? Had a 28-point lead against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and they lost it. Hey, you can make the argument on why I say Kyle Shanahan's the most overrated coach in the NFL today. Hey, bro, you win a lot of games. You don't win the game. Do you think Jalen has had a coach that brought the best out in him? Well, I don't know. How about this? Zander is probably going to tag this. I thought about this last night, and Bird Gang, let me say this to you about Nick Sirianni. Zander, check this out. Who do you think got more out of Jalen Hurts? Nick Saban or Nick Sirianni? Anybody? Who do you think got more out of Jalen? Saban or Nick? Who got more out of him? Who got the best out of Hurts? Nick or Shane? Or, excuse me, Nick or Nick Saban? He didn't win anything there. He benched his ass. Saban benched him. Saban benched him. Hurts wasn't the starting quarterback when they won the Super Bowl, when they won the national title. He benched his ass. Both of them won the big game. He did not win the big game. Neither. My vote is Shane. Well, who hired Shane? Nick. They weren't afraid to call his flaws out. No, what they won't do is they won't point him out. Okay? Hurts never developed as a quarterback. Saban called his flaws out by benching him and putting Tua Tagovailoa in. All I know is this. I've watched the Eagles since 80. Jalen Hurts is the most inconsistent quarterback I've seen in history. Jerry, that's why this year, one of the big talking points is, can he win with a lesser talented roster? Can he win with a lesser talented roster? The benching by Nick Saban made him better, so now when you look at it, he's able to do more and be more. Nick Saban didn't bench him because he was trying to make him better. He benched him because he thought Tagovailoa could win more games for him. Stop making it more complicated than it was. You think he sat there on the sidelines and said, hey, I'm going to sit Jalen Hurts, and you know what? This is going to make him a better player. I'm going to put Tagovailoa. Like, really, guy? You think that? A coach in the middle of a national championship game is going to go like this. Hey, you know what? I think this is going to make Jalen better. Let me put 2 in there. Don't make it more complicated than it wasn't. Jalenites have nothing left but blame Nick for his shortcomings. He's in the definition of inconsistency. Listen, once again, I want to go back and say one more thing here again. And I think the ESPN guys had a great conversation today. Has the criticism of Hurts been fair or foul? I think it's absolutely been fair in context. Now, when you sit there and you say, can this guy win a Super Bowl? And you're criticizing the guy that he can't do it again. That's not right. That's not fair. Could Jalen Hurts deliver another Super Bowl for a team or for the Eagles? Of course, he's won it. He's shown you he can. That criticism is gone. Like it is for Sam Darnold. Like it is for Trent Dilfer. Dilfer proved he could win a Super Bowl. He didn't have to be spectacular. He had to be efficient. Okay? Okay, wait a minute. That's a narrative this year. Can he win? Can he be performing at a high level without AJ? Man, these fucking Cowboy players still think 30 to 50 years ago is still relevant to the menials in the 2000s. Like, go to back 50 years ago in the 70s and 30s. Bro, the Dallas Cowboys are today, not 50 years ago, today, the richest franchise in the world in sports. That's not a 50 or 30-year-old conversation. And can you imagine if the Cowboys had won a Super Bowl in the last 30 years, what they'd be worth? The Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. 30 years. And they're still the richest franchise on the planet. Put that in your hat, guy. How can you be the richest franchise in pro football and in sports history, including those soccer teams, and not having won? That's not a 50-year-old conversation. That's a conversation of today. If Jalen didn't go to Oklahoma his last year, he probably wouldn't have been drafted till the 6th round. Riley improved him as a passer, called plays to his strengths. Yeah, well, yes. Seals, Hurts gets more criticism than Flowers because he doesn't have enough Jalen plays that account for all the wins. When he ran the RPO, Jalen plays were there, and Jalen had less critics. That's a great take. Here, let's see this guy. They all said Hurts' criticism is foul. Guys like Allen and Herbert choke. Like, kudos, you won. And he didn't hear a word we just said about how rich the franchise is today, not having won. How can the Dallas Cowboys' value go up every year? In the last 2 years, they haven't made the playoffs. And they're worth double the Eagles. Hey, Philadelphia, explain that. How are the Dallas Cowboys worth double the Eagles? And they have won in 30 years. Can you? And that's not a 50-year-old conversation or a 90s conversation. How can that be? How can they have the highest TV ratings every year for an NFL team? Hook me up on that. How can the Dallas Cowboys have the highest television rated games and be the highest valued team in the world? That's not a 50-year-old conversation. We don't count our owners' pockets, moron. We count wins and championships. No, you said the Cowboys weren't relevant. They are relevant. They're the richest team in the world. They're the richest team in the NFL. They're the biggest exposed team in the league. They're like the Lakers. Look at what the Knicks did. The New York Knickerbockers, look what they did for the television ratings for the NBA. You think if you would have had Indiana OKC in the finals again, you would have saw the ratings? Right, the Dodgers too are another one. There's particular brands, okay? Particular brands that move the needle, no matter who you are. Sills, Jerry Jones lucked out on every broadcasting rights for his games. They went national before every other team, so they got fans all over the country because their games were on TV. Yeah, because guys like Gil Brandt and guys like Tex Schramm and guys like Clint Richardson wanted to play on Thursday, on Thanksgiving, and nobody else wanted to play. Them in Detroit. Why do you think them in Detroit, now everybody wants to play on Thanksgiving? Well, that's because the Cowboys were thinking ahead of everybody and thinking ahead of the league. That's why they're where they are. Marketing. It ain't because of winning. Y'all missing the point. Dallas has players on TV all over the sports media. The brand is relevant. It's another spectacular take. Okay, Aikman is on ESPN. You got Jason Garrett on. You've got Michael Irvin all over the place. You got Moose Johnson. I don't see any national guys outside of Jason Kelsey from the Eagles on any national broadcast. Or, for that matter, any other team. Sills, 132 teams making $200 million for over 20 years helps. Only team with the license agreement they have. That's right. They have a special licensing agreement when it comes to their merchandise. I think the Raiders do also too, Brandon. Here. Damn, it's almost like if you see nationally on TV, people don't mind seeing you again and again. Reyes, I don't like it. Oh, no, all kidding aside here, man. Do I like the way they cover the Lakers, the Jets, and the Cowboys, and at times Notre Dame? No. Notre Dame hasn't won a national title since 1988. We're coming up on 40 years. And they cover that team like they win national titles every year. They don't. As a matter of fact, Notre Dame in the last 60 years has won one national title. Don't make it sound like, here, and here's another one, Michigan. Michigan hasn't won but 1.5 national titles in 95 years. And you got guys like Dave Portnoy going, oh, it's a national brand. National brand? Ohio State's got 7 national titles. National brand. Sills, right? Legendary teams lost their touch. Yeah. Dude, I can't stand the way the Lakers are covered. Who cares? The Lakers haven't been relevant outside of that stupid Mickey Mouse championship in the last 10 years, 15 years. Even Kobe's ending stunk. This has been the worst Laker run since they moved from Minneapolis. So why is that you bragging about how much money the Cowboys generate as if it's going to help them go past the second? Bro, you have a tough time following along. You need some help, guy. There's special needs people that you can call. It's 1-800-GET-FUCKING-HELP. Got to separate success of the brand from team success. Dude, the Eagles have been an absolute train since 2000. Really, since Jeffrey Lurie's bought the team. Just has been a train. Okay? A train. Every single coach he's hired has had a winning record since 2000, which is amazing. Sills, if Hurts wins another Super Bowl and a 3,600, 27 touchdown and 8 interceptions, 15th ranked offense and top 3 defense, and Barkley goes for 1,500 yards, would you crown Hurts as a top 5 to 6 quarterback in the league? If they put up that same, hey, by the way, Bird Gang, that's who Jalen is. There's no ceiling. He's at the ceiling. This is who he is. This is who this guy is. And if that's who he is, so be it. If they win another Super Bowl, this conversation is over. I would be wrong. Because he would do it with the least talented cast he's had. Probably since 21. This is the least talented offensive group. Would we not agree? Offensive line's older. Barkley's older. You got one wideout again like 21. And you got a bunch of dudes. If Hurts wins the Super Bowl with the least talented offensive group, this will be the first time since 21 that he's elevated a football team with lesser talent. This is the least talented team offensively, skill set wise, that he's had as a starter since 21. Right? If we win a Super Bowl, it will be because dude, no. If you win a Super Bowl, it's going to be because of all 53 men and both people doing their part. The offense and defense doing their part and working on first and second down. If the Eagles don't improve on first and second down, this conversation's over before it even starts the season. If you're not better on first and second down, this thing's over. Sills, this is what Michael Irvin tries to tell Micah last year. Yes, the contract is very important, but don't burn your bridges with Jerry. Jerry takes care of his players off the field after. Completely true. Micah Parsons, after he's done playing in the NFL, is going to fade into the ether because he's a Packer. What Packer has been a big-time broadcaster? I missed it. Favre? I don't know. Maybe Rodgers does something? I don't know. Who else? So I'm saying if he is at his ceiling, dude, if Jalen Hurts is at his ceiling and it's 50-18 over the last 4 years, I'm not sure what you're talking. Brady was at his ceiling and he delivered wins. What are you expecting him to be? 4,700 yards passing, 4,100. Dude, ceiling is all in context of how you build your team. Dude, let's see. So I'm saying if he's at his ceiling, what can you coach him different? He is who he is. Brady was at his ceiling and went to Tampa. Uncoachable. Brady went to Tampa because Tampa had more talent than what New England did. New England ran out of gas. They weren't retooling the cabinets. Every year they would retool the cabinets with more talent. They stopped doing that at the end. Let me tell you, too, one of the reasons that the Patriots ran out of gas Do me a favor, Kyle. Here, somebody do this. When did Nick Caserio become the general manager of the Houston Texans? And when did he leave New England? That'll tell you exactly what happened in New England. Their pro scout and their NFL talent evaluator, Caserio, when he left New England, that shit went sideways. They weren't putting the talented guys back in the building. Caserio goes down to Texas, and he goes to Houston, and he brings in then a good Deshaun Watson. Guy makes a trade and goes up and gets Stroud and gets Will Anderson Jr. He gets Stingley. He gets Lassiter. He builds the best defense in football. You think there's any coincidence to that? $2021. Well, let's take a look at something here. Okay, Patriots, year to year. Mike Quick's going to join us. Bottom of the hour. So Patriots, 21 is when he leaves. Okay, 21. Patriots were 10-7. After that, they went 8-9, 4-13, 4-13. After he left in 21. You think there's any coincidence to that? That their best talent evaluator left at the end? And they weren't putting players back on that Patriot rosters. Dude, you got to have people that know what they're doing in the front office to put people. Dude, if you lost Howie Roseman, your football organization would tank for a couple years until you figured that out. Dude, I don't even know. I don't know. You're just all over the joint. If Kraft wasn't a cheapskate, he'd have 4 more rings and Brady would have retired a Patriot. Hey, Rasputin, if the guy up in Chicago hadn't ripped apart that Bulls team, Michael Jordan would have 9 NBA titles. But remember, no one beat the Bulls on the court. The front office ripped that team apart. They wouldn't give Pippen another contract. They didn't give Jordan another contract. They allowed all those guys to leave. They were never beaten the next year. After they won that last NBA championship, that was it. The front office and ego between Reinsdorf and Krause ended up destroying that franchise. And Phil Jackson. Phil wanted to come back. Egos ripped that apart. Has there been any signs in camp that Hurts may run more? That's really all I wanted to see out of him this year. By the way, I'm going to disagree with Hugh Douglas today. You said that for Jalen Hurts to be a better passer, his idea is Jalen's got to be a better passer, which will help his run game. I think it's reversed. In 22, I fear Hurts taking off on third down with his wheels, not throwing for completions. The threat of Hurts is in his legs, both setting up for passing and for running. If Hurts' wheels are active this year, the Eagles are going to win a lot of games. If they're not, I don't believe you are. And I'm not sure he is. He has to run more, especially if Barkley doesn't get going. As a matter of fact, I would want Hurts to get going early in the year and taper it off later in the year to at least set the threat of him taking off. Follow me? If I see him winning games in the first half of the season with his wheels, as a coordinator, I've got to set that up going, guy's going to take off again. Do you know that you have to defend that? When you're putting a game plan up and you're going, what do they like to run on this play? What do they like to run on this? What do they like to run here? What do they like to run here? Okay? Why do you go here? Why do you go there? Well, But one thing you have to always do is when you're a coordinator, will the guy take off? And where's he going to take off? Well, he's going to roll right. They got to get that habit out of him, too. Him rolling right. You got to get that habit out of him. Like, he's got to move, sprint out. You know what I always wanted to see with Jalen? What would it be like for him if somebody had an offense that had him out and sprint out passes, get him out in space? Offensive line's not in front of him. Dude, he's a great open field runner. He knows when to get down and not get clobbered out there on the perimeter like that. He knows to get down. He protects his body. Put him out and sprint out. You don't have to be exceptionally accurate. If he doesn't feel comfortable, take off. Chris Cooper better be on the same page with filet mignon. That's a given. That's a given. Mike Quick's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. We'll get his perspective. Why would Hurts run on a lame duck contract? Because Jalen might be auditioning for the next guy. Dude, remember something. Hurts has total control of what's next with one aspect. He's got a no-trade clause. Eagles could say all they want. Hey, I want to move off the guy. Okay, well, that's going to cost you. That might end up being a sign and trade or something to that extent. Hurts has a no trade in his contract. I mean, he's got total say at the end where he goes. Like, you're not sending him to the Jets or you're not sending him to Cleveland. He's going to go to Pittsburgh. He's going to go to Houston. Shit, he might go to some place you never thought of him going to. I mean, depending on what happens this year, what if Lamar Jackson leaves Baltimore and wants to go to Miami and want to go down south again and where he's from, in South Florida? Baltimore would be a great place for him. Hurts helped us win the first 4 games with his legs last season, which are the first 4 games before they moved away from it. This was to please A.J. Brown, who wanted the ball. Of course, again, we're throwing shade on A.J. All I'm saying is 22 is his ceiling, and the league caught that Hurts' 23 stopped him from running, made him throw. His ceiling is deficiency of zone coverage. He is not that type of quarterback. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree. I think this new fangled offense they're doing, again, the reason I'm not picking you to win the division, not because you're not talented enough, this direction thing. And we're going to talk to Mike Quick in a minute. Sills, the only way Hurts can be a better passer is to embrace the screen game and checkdowns. Those are not sexy, but they are easy yards, and it will force the D to defend more of the field. I agree. I know you'll think I'm on crack rocks and probably even heroin, but I will take Hurts over Lamar any day of the week. Okay? There's some parts of his game that you're right. There's some parts of his game you're wrong. Let's see here. The Eagles still have far fewer question marks than Dallas. Yet you're so confident. I'm not confident in Dallas. I'm not confident in anything. They got to win. But they're not making wholesale changes in direction. Only on defense. And I think Christian Parker is going to make an impact. Have to see. Hey, dude, you guys are in here crowning Sean Mannion as some great coordinator already. And yet every time we bring up Christian Parker, well, we're going to see here. Yeah, but your boy here, Mannion, who's never done shit and has been a coach for 20 months, is going to be the end-all, end-all. How crazy conversation is that? Sean Mannion gets the benefit, but Parker doesn't in Dallas, correct? Oh, I got it. Sills, in the 2011 offseason, we had 8 picks in the first 2 rounds. And we're rumored to acquire Larry Fitzgerald, D. Jackson, Lamar Wooden. But Belichick fucked off the picks for lesser players. Well, I would say this to you. How many Super Bowls did you win after 2011 without those players? It's one thing to criticize the Patriots for not taking those guys. It's another thing. How many Super Bowls did they win in that 7-year period before Brady left in 19? 3? They wouldn't trade Hurts to a messed up team anyways. I don't believe that. If they were nice enough to send AJ away, yes, I agree with that. And I think that would be respect. They're going to send Hurts to Cleveland. Trade Jalen and 2 first-round picks for Burrow. That ain't happening. Well, I don't know. Maybe. You never know with the Bengals. Do you think some of those quarterbacks, Burrow, Allen, Herbert, suffer from being asked to do too much? No. You're the starting quarterback of a National Football League team making $50 to $60 million. Do your job. No. They are also open to criticism. I mean, more so. Get this, if you are better than Hurts, you're open to more criticism than Hurts. You just gave Parker the benefit. Listen, I give Parker the benefit because he's been a coach longer. And he's worked with Vic. Your guy's worked with nobody for 18 months. He's been a coach for 18 months. Says you believe the Cowboys defense will be better based off Parker being, no, based off of Quinnen Williams, Caleb Downs, and some other players overshown coming back. That's the only reason. But that doesn't mean I think that's the end all. They got to go out and freaking play. Bro, I don't care what you say. You add better players to your roster, you're going to be a better team. Moving the goalpost again, of course. Moving the goalpost because it doesn't fit what you think. Dude, there is no goalpost in the NFL. It changes daily. And that's funny. Every time you guys bring that comment up, goalposts changing. Goalposts change every single day in the NFL on players. You think the goalpost is changing a little bit on Lane right now? Lane retiring? Is Lane not retiring? What's going on? That's goalpost moving. Is it injuries? Is it personal? We're on 5 days now. Guy missed a full week of practice. I don't know. Should we send out an Amber Alert? Seriously, what should we do? Should we send out an SOS? Smoke signals? What do you want to do? I mean, in my family, somebody's missing for 5 days. I am going to call somebody and go, do you know where Dan is? Where are the goalposts on Mahomes? There is no goalpost. Oh, well, there is this. Will he bounce back? Will he bounce back? Of course, you can criticize them, but if you have to throw 30 to 50 times a game, you're playing more of a risk. Yes. Dude, high volume passers are at a higher risk of turnover. Brady tells you every broadcast. That's why Brady might have 50 passes in a ball game. But what are those passes really, those 50 passes? How many of them are 30 passes that are under 8 yards or 20 passes under 8 yards to his backs or to his tight ends? It's the quality of pass. Dude, every time people say, Hurts is a great deep ball thrower, what does that mean in winning? This is not even worthy of a comment or really anything. I think Lane, 7 mental issues. That's why they're not releasing it. Well, I hope he's okay. Seals, it reminds me of the old Fox 5 commercial. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? I don't. We're going to be efforting. Let me see if I can send a text message to Mike. Get Mike in here now. Let's see here. Let me do that there. Appreciate you guys here. Let me see here. Thank you. Everyone knows how to beat Mahomes. You got to pressure him with 4 at most and have as many guys as possible covered. Dude, okay, well, that sounds good on paper. But that guy makes plays. He's an ad-lib machine. If the Eagles have to throw the ball 30 to 40 times a game to win, they'll have a losing record this year. I said this yesterday, Angelo. If you go back and you look at all the games that Jalen has played since he's been an Eagle, I'd like to know what the percentages are that he was behind in the second half. I'd really like to know. Look, I've said this before, and you're going to hear this again. There's no question. People are like, look, what's going on with Mekhi Lemon? Guys, it's August 6th. Okay? It's training camp. Rookies struggle with playbooks. I struggled with a playbook. All right. I can't wait to get our friend in here, Mike Quick. And I got to tell you, he was a teammate with my guy, Jerome Brown. And Jerome loved this guy. And he's part of the broadcast team for the Philadelphia Eagles. And we're always so great when we get some time with him to get a sneak peek at what's going to go down with the 2026 Philadelphia Eagles. Here is the greatest wide receiver, I would say, in Eagle history. Here he is, Mike Quick. He joins us now here on the program. How you doing, Mike?
Doing great, sir. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing well here, and I want to ask you flat out, when it comes to Mekhi Lemon, are you concerned at all on what you're seeing so far in training camp? Mike, one thing first and foremost, though, he doesn't have the days that you and I had back in the day. You only get like 15 practices.
Yeah.
Get yourself ready for the upcoming season. So every practice matters. Are you concerned?
I think, like you said, and when you're that young, that early in your professional career, you need to be on the field every chance you get. And I do think that it hurts that you're, again, this early in the process and you have to miss as many practices as he's going to have to miss. And we don't know what that number is, but any practice that you're going to miss when you're a rookie, when you're counted on to be one of the guys, it really hurts. It's a new system and it requires timing by everybody. There's so many little nuances in this new system. And yeah, he needs to be there as much as he can.
Mike, what was your biggest challenge from transitioning from college to the pros? I know it's a different game today. It was more run game centric back when you came into the game. So now it's more, especially what the Eagles are trying to do now. What's the biggest challenge you face, though, coming from the college ranks to the pro ranks?
Yeah, and I don't think that's changed. I think the biggest thing is, what are two things? It's the level of talent that you're going to have to see each and every week and being able to get yourself up for that level of talent each and every week. And it's the knowledge of the game. It's learning the offense, but not only do I need to know the offense, I need to know more about defenses at this level and what defenses at this level are going to do to me and how I'm going to get myself and fix the problems, fix the issues of what defenses are trying to do to me and understand all of these things. That takes time, and that's what he's missing out on right now.
I'm going to ask you a question about Hurts. I was listening to ESPN today, and they asked this question, and I'll ask you this question. Has the criticism of Jalen Hurts been fair or foul in how they cover him?
Yeah, it depends on where it's coming from. I think a lot of it is foul. I think a lot of it is, um, and then some of it's probably fair. But when you're Jalen Hurts, and I love that he has this demeanor, you don't let any of the talk, any of that noise get under your skin, any of that noise affect what you do day to day. The guy is a consummate pro. He goes about his work in the right way. He does all the right things. Is he a perfect quarterback? No. He's never going to be a perfect quarterback, but um, I think any of us would take the success that he's had for your quarterback in this short period of time, what he's been able to do. And then I hear all of this noise about, well, he's got all these guys around him. Yeah, of course. But anyone who's won Super Bowls, anyone who's played at this level and had success, they've had a lot of guys around them to help them in that success. It's the ultimate team game, and you're not going to win if you don't have talented guys around you. Yeah, some of the noise about this young man is just noise.
I got to ask you this, and you tell me if I'm off base, Mike. I said this
Yeah, you're
about
off base, Dan.
I'm off base with this comment here. I said this to people because Tom Brady was open to criticism when
Yeah,
they were asking for change. If you remember right, there was a Kansas City game, and then the next day they were saying, "Is it time for Jimmy Garoppolo?" And Belichick was saying, "Hey, we're on to Cincinnati." He
right.
would go on to win 3 more Super Bowls. Wouldn't this be fair too? That no question, nobody's dismissing what Jalen did, but you're not subject to a blanket cover if the last 3 years the passing game has not been up to snuff to where the Eagles are currently trying to change the offense. Everybody's open to criticism, Mike.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you don't get in this game and expect not to be criticized. At every position, everybody's open to criticism. And the thing now is everybody's got a phone, everybody's got a microphone, and everybody's got an opinion. And if you're a player and you fall into that rabbit hole of listening to all these opinions, you have no shot. None.
All right, Mike, let's go here. AJ Brown, you think they're going to be better off without him? Or do you think they're going to regret this by the end of the year that he's not on that roster?
So I think it's really, and I've seen this somewhere where someone said addition through subtraction. As talented as AJ is, and I think he's one of the better receivers in our league, um, they no longer wanted to coexist. AJ no longer wanted to be here. That they just didn't. It just didn't fit any longer. When you get to that point, then it's better to part ways. And when you part ways, you start fresh, you start anew. I think it's better for everybody that's involved. Yes, he's really talented. Yes, there were games when he had the ability to take over games, but when you no longer want to be in that environment, then it's better that you part ways and everybody go off and have a new. So the thing that's going on now, it's new, it's fresh offense. Fresh people calling all the plays, fresh people putting in, installing all of this, the details of the offense every day, and seems like everybody's rowing in the same direction. So I think that is addition by subtraction.
Mike, what do you make of the AJ Brown era? What if you had to put like a phrase on it? What would that phrase be on how and what he brought to the team?
Oh, he was a baller, playmaker. AJ could get you out of a lot of situations. He's just that talented. He's one of these guys that he doesn't necessarily have to be open, and he's open. because that's AJ. He has that ability to muscle guys out of his way. He has that ability to run through contact and get his hands on the football, and then very big, strong hands. Yeah, he's a special player, special talent.
What do you make of Devontae Smith? Can he take that role and become the number one? Or is it also going to be in line with the number two guy does? Because, Mike, we've been saying the whole time, I don't really
Yeah,
think that's going to be that far off of a drop between AJ and Devontae. But what's that two role going to look like
yeah,
going into this year? Is that a
yeah.
concern?
What's the 2 and the 3, and yeah, that role. Um, I'm not concerned about Smitty being a number one at all. You know, if you think back, Smitty's a Heisman Trophy winner. Smitty was the number one guy at Alabama. Smitty came into the league probably expecting to be a number one, but you have AJ, so you got basically two number ones. So I don't think Smitty's going to be out of place at all, being your number one guy. However, I do believe that the way offenses are trending, you're going to have a more balanced attack, and you're going to have more two tight end sets and in these multiple formations with extra tight ends and um, the spreading around of the ball. And until someone declares that I'm going to dominate, you got to get the ball to me, and I don't see that happening in this offense. It's going to be an offense where the ball is equally shared around, and the ball is going to get to the open.
Okay, got you there, Mike. We're good. Let's see if we can get Mike back up here again. Hopefully, we can get him up here. So they're going to spread the ball out a little bit more on what Mike said. And that's kind of what they've been working on in training camp, especially also that you're hearing that Barkley is getting more involved in the passing game and that they're throwing the football to Barkley and they're doing more of those checkdowns. So, again, maybe that's going to be where we are with how they're going to throw a little bit more into the run game. And so Mike was talking about spreading the ball out. Mike, would you also say that that's probably going to be a role where you might see Barkley being more of a role because of spreading the football around?
So I'm hoping, Dan, that the running backs are going to be a bigger factor in the run and in the passing game in this offense because they can be such weapons in this offense. I think about Tank and what Tank's been able to do, Tank Bigsby, and watching him in training camp. I didn't realize how well he caught the ball out of the backfield. Saquon caught 90 balls his rookie season in New York. You have backs in the backfield who are more than capable receivers. So I think that should, and I'm hoping that it is a part of this offense, be it the screen game or however you choose to get it to them. You've got some real weapons as receivers out of the backfield.
Mike, I got to tell you, man, this goes back to Jim Johnson and maybe even, back with Bud Carson in your day when you're talking with Buddy Ryan. I mean, Vic Fangio, holy cow, Mike. I mean, the defensive football players that he's developing right now,
Yeah.
and on that side of the football, it's been truly impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. Guys come in and they have a skill set. Here's the first thing. You find these guys and you look at their traits, you look at their skill sets, and you realize that they're fit for what you're doing. So it goes beyond just Fangio, the personnel department, and Fangio involved as well in explaining what I need and the type of guy that I need. And then Howie and his scouting department going out and bringing those guys in. And then when Fangio gets these guys and he sees what they're able to do, and it's been a very, very nice thing to watch over the past few years of Vic Fangio and the smarts that he brings to the game, and in terms of what he has as players and what to do with these players and the timeliness of all of that.
I've got to ask on Lane Johnson here. Again, this is the fifth day now that he's not showed up to practice. And I was just curious again. And I hope that he's just priming himself up. As you know, Mike, when you're a guy like that with 15 years,
Yeah.
practice time is really not the issue. It's more, again, about maybe they're load managing him. But, I mean, he's very important to this football team, especially if you want to get that run game going again like you did 2 years ago. So I don't know
Yeah.
if you have any insight. but his importance to that offense, he's an important guy if they're going to be successful this year.
Without a doubt, you can simply look at the win-loss record with Lane Johnson when he's playing a full game and when he's not, and it's really off balance. Um, great football player, first of all, but he's so important. Not only what he's able to do, but the attitude that he brings, the feeling of having that side of the ball that's going to be protected because Lane's there. Yeah, it's really important. Lane's a great football player, and hopefully it's a small thing. And um, but if Lane misses a lot of this camp, I that wouldn't bother me at all because I know who Lane Johnson is, and whenever he decides he's got to line up, and you have a week to game plan for an opponent, yeah, Lane Johnson's gonna bring it. You don't have to even be concerned about that.
Couple more questions here for you, Mike. Tell me why, and tell me if you're concerned about this. Um, you're going down the same lane as Kevin Patullo. Why will it be different from a year ago to this year when you have a first-year play caller? And a year ago, they elevated from within. They go out and they bring in, and then they're going out and obviously getting Chris Cooper too to replace Stoutland. Why will
Yeah.
this year be different than last year when it comes to play calling, when basically both guys were inexperienced play callers?
Well, we don't know that it will be. You have to be optimistic. So I think if you look at the history of bringing in people to run the football operations, the call plays, and the coaches, and um, through Jeffrey Lurie, Howard Reed's tenure, I think they've been pretty darn good. If you look at the success that Jeffrey has had as an owner, with an Andy Reid as the head coach, with what Doug Peterson was able to do, with what's going on now, you have to, and I understand that the current offensive coordinator.
Hopefully, we're able to get him back here and we get a chance to finish up the interview here because and listen, again, and I don't know if it's going to be different. And I don't know if we're going to see KP 2.0. And he's right. Okay, so at the end of the day here, you got to go back and you got to figure out whether or not you're going to get something different from Sean Mannion. Now, what you like what Jalen is saying is, Jalen's saying that he's being explained here. So again, Mike, finish that up what you were saying about Sean Mannion being different than what you think maybe Kevin Patullo brought to the table last year.
Well, I just think it's a completely different situation. Sean Mannion is a man who played in this league for a long time. He was a quarterback in this league, and I think those guys. He was a backup quarterback for the most part, and I think those guys, for whatever reason, end up being excellent head coaches. Sean Mannion talks about even considering. Well, he was thinking about where he is now, even as a player, because he knew that he wanted to go into coaching. So to have a guy with that background, I think I would be a little more optimistic about what he brings as opposed to what happened here last year. The fact that he understands the system, he understands quarterbacking, there's a lot that he brings, a lot of intangibles that he brings to the party that just simply was not there in the previous regime. So because of that, I'm optimistic. Chris Cooper, another guy, you mentioned the offensive line coach, Coop. He also played in the league for a long, long time and realized late in his tenure that he wanted to go into coaching. He thought it would just last. It's funny, I just had a conversation with him. He thought that he would just do it for a little bit, and he ends up now, it's 11 years now he's been coaching. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Mike, to your point, if you look at Jeffrey Lurie since 2000, every single coach that he's hired, even Chip Kelly, has had a winning record.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to your process of what you're talking about, what they're thinking of hiring particular coaches, you're dead on with that there. So you prefer guys who have played in the game as being assistant coaches? Because if you go back to 17, think about what happened there. And we've had Doug Peterson on our program. You had Frank Wright, a backup quarterback. You had Doug Peterson, a backup quarterback. And you won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. Do you like that the player has or the coach has had a little bit of playing time to be able to connect with his players?
I absolutely do. Not to say that you can't be successful as a coach without that. I don't think that um, it's a prerequisite for being an excellent coach. But I do think that there are things that you gain through the experience of being in the league that you're able to help guys in some ways that guys who haven't not necessarily can. I do believe that. I do believe that there are details. There are some problem solving that needs to go along, that has to go on. That when you've been there before, you understand these things and you're able to share a little bit more of intimate detail because you have done it before. So, yeah, I mean, I when I go through staffs, Dan, when the team's about to play, I always go through the players, personnel, of course, but I always look at the staffs and I'll look to see how much NFL experience is on their staff because I do think that there's some value in that. It's not the be all end all, but there's value in that.
Last question for you, Mike. Do you see the same thing I see in Jalen Carter? You know,
Ah,
people forget.
ah.
People forget about Jerome when he first came. I played with Jerome at Miami, and
Yep,
so
I know.
he was my running mate. And that guy, how about him being on his motorcycle in the parking lot going 130 miles an hour, going through all the birds and all that, and everybody kept going out there going, "Hey, Jerome, little bit, you got to be a little bit more focused," or Buddy getting on his ass on that Monday night when it came to
Yeah,
that Giants game. So
yeah,
I see a little bit of the same guy. You think Carter has the same ability as Jerome did, and you think he can be that kind of player?
absolutely. Yeah, he's fun to watch. And when Jerome, Reggie, guys like that, when they decided that you're not going to block me, you really are not going to block him. But Jerome was just when he decided that he wanted to be a menace, he had it. He could turn it on. Reggie was the same way. This young man, I absolutely believe that he is one of these guys. If you decide that you're gonna block him with one offensive lineman, good luck, because it's not gonna happen. He's too quick, too strong, and he's learning so much. The defensive line coach Clint Hurt, he's so very good. Another guy who's an ex-player, but he's so very good at giving these guys what they need, the tools mentally as well as physically, teaching them every little detail that they need to be successful. And I'm watching Jalen at practice now, and he's now coaching up some of the guys that are behind him. I'm watching him. It, like Uar Bernard, the the international player that's now on, and Jalen spending time with Uar, just trying to show him the little details of playing the position. I'd like to see the growth in these guys like that. Not only am I this guy who can wreck a game, but I want to teach you, the guy behind me, how to do some of the things that I'm doing, and that's kind of fun to watch for me.
Clint Hurt, another hurricane, so I'm glad we got that on the table there with him, as I think he'll be the next DC for you guys after Vic decides to hang him up someday. By the way, how's the golf game coming?
Oh, I don't play golf anymore.
Oh, come on. Merrill said you're always out there killing it.
Yeah,
You're like a scratch golfer. You don't play anymore? What happened?
I took the year off.
Really?
I did. Yeah.
Hey, man, by the way, let me sneak this in on you. 50th anniversary of Merrill,
Huh.
him calling. And you've been kind of right there with him. What a great team you guys have been. And you got another year coming up this year. What's
Yep.
it been
Yep.
like working with Merrill?
Um, it's I could not have imagined landing in a better spot. I know that he is royalty, and I know that I'm living with royalty every day that I sit down with him, and it's very special um, to have a guy who's been in this business for so long, had so much success, and for a big part of it now, I've been able to go along with him, sit beside him. Every Batman needs a Robin, and I'm just happy to be Robin to my Batman, Merrill Reese.
Man, you guys got 2 Super Bowl rings. I
Yeah,
mean, you've been to the Super Bowls. Mike, who would have ever thought a kid from NC State coming out of college, playing as many years as you did, that you'd
yeah.
spend your entire life in Philadelphia playing for the team and then covering the team that you loved?
Yep, it's been such a blessing. No doubt.
Absolutely. Mike, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate you doing this.
All right, Dan, be well.
You got it. The great Mike Quick joins us here. Thank you so much, Mike. All good, man. Yeah, so again, and I see people in here talking, and they're like, "Hey, how about Mike giving me?" He goes like this. You're wrong. I loved it. I love it, man. All good, guys. I appreciate you so much. Yeah. So wait a minute. I get criticism for like being critical of your team. Okay? And yet we put people on that show you optimism. Okay? Hey, dude, what did you think Mike Quick was going to do? He was going to come on here and not be optimistic about what and team that he covers? He's part of the broadcast team for the Eagles, dude. What'd you think he was going to do? BM Reyes? And sit there and say everything is absolutely, totally great? And everything is perfect? Hey, Uard Bernard will be an all-pro in 2 years? What'd you think? Only former players that's objective is Avant, Jason Avant. I remember Mike giving me praise for wearing a Quentin Mitchell jersey outside the stadium years ago. Okay? Wait, 800. Get fucking help. That was fucking hilarious, by the way. Hey. Still, some of these fans are glazers. You mean like this guy here, the ultimate glazer? Some of the, and I'm not talking about Glazers, the owner of the Bucks. Everything has to be sunshine and rainbows, or they get unhinged. You even heard Mike Quick say it. Hurts is open to criticism. You guys are the only people that, because, like, what's his name says, he wins a Super Bowl, he's off limits. That is the stupidest take on the planet. If you win a Super Bowl, you're off limits to criticism. Merrill Reese has an iconic voice. Very nice man. Yes, he is. That was outstanding interview, Dan. You should try to get him on during the regular season. I've already asked. It's going to happen. All good. Working on a couple more surprises as well. Wait a second. Open to criticism? Not fucking trade talks like you haters are doing. Trading who? I've never once said trade Jalen Hurts. Like, ever. That's my quarterback. Oh, we got to get here. We got some more to go here. Hit the like button. Zander's going to join us at 4:30. So that's my quarterback. That's Reyes. Reyes is like T.O. crying. My quarterback. That's my quarterback. It's not that you're critical. It's that you're baiting that you do. Hey, Eric, I bait? You're here, guy. I don't bait anybody. You're such a fucking dummy. And by the way, this is the guy that goes on my Twitter all the time and calls me a racist every day. And I don't block him. He gets to come here and talk his fucking bullshit all the time. This guy is such a... He don't know me from a can of paint or anybody that knows me. But here's a guy that calls me a racist over on my Twitter every day. And he says that I'm a Twitter, or he says that I'm a racist. And he don't know a fucking soul who knows me or knows any of my friends or any of my family. And he thinks he knows me because he comes on my program here. And actually, you know me? Where? I don't know you from a can of paint, douchebag. Where do I know you? Where do I know you from? Oh, you must be one of the media guys that's got a different number here or a different name. I got it. He's one of the media guys that can't stand it that, you know, we got a TV show and we do this every day. You don't know me, brother. I don't have that many close friends. He knows me. Oh, San Diego. Oh, San Diego. Well, then that's clearly a media guy. Because I have no media friends in San Diego. I hate Darren Smith, and I hate Scott Kaplan, and I hate all those guys. Who are you that I would like? And the one guy I did like has passed away. Who would you be? Like, who would you be? Guy, all good, man. Back of the bus. Seals, you talk good about black or white dudes on offense, but if you mention the quarterback, you're racist. Not because you're a bottom 10 passer for 3 years, but because of race. Of course. That's their low ball go-to. If you talk criticism about any quarterback, if he's black, you got every single African-American that's a Jalen Hurts guy saying you're a racist, which is ridiculous. It's like being critical of a starting pitcher. Oh, he's black. Well, you can't be critical of him? That's stupid. This is sports. Race has nothing to do with that. You either suck or you're good. As Zander always says, in the end, this is football as long as your family. Yeah, it's football. He had Warren Moon on. Hey, you know what, Rasputin? I appreciate that. We had Moon and Doug Williams and all them guys. That gives the stupid people the notion to say, oh, he's using black guys to put on his program to cover for who he is. And yet these people don't know me from a can of paint. By the way, guys like Prince and Reyes and all of you guys that are in here every day, Sue, Jason, all of you guys, you have more access to me and access to me than anybody has ever had to me in all of my years of broadcasting. And Zander and I made it that way. Why is that the word that gets thrown out so easily? If you disagree, you're a racist. Well, it's because if you back Caitlin Clark, you're a white supremacist. And if you make any kind of comments about Hurts, you hate black quarterbacks. It's low mentality thinking. That's what that Lord Brunson guy does. He thinks he fucking knows me. He don't know me from a can of paint either. So what does he do? He throws race out because he thinks I'll hide under my desk. Not happening. Stuff is old, dude. I think Lamar is better than Hurts. Then I must be racist. I think Lamar is more talented than Hurts, but I think Jalen sees the game better. Bro, you kidding me? You guys are awesome. Love talking sports with you guys. Get this, too. Watch this, folks. You ready for this? We don't block him. I don't block anybody. Long as you don't say anything about my kid, my wife, I'm good. I don't really care. I don't care. I don't block anybody. I saw that Jonathan Taylor got that extension. Good for him. Okay, great. Hey, Prince. How long will Nick Sirianni let Mannion go with this new offense if it struggles early? What do you think? How long will he go? How long will he go when it comes to letting Mannion have complete control? 6 weeks. Game 5, okay? Big Sills critiques Joe Burrow's health. Guess he's a racist and that doesn't like white people. Joe Burrow, in my opinion, I call him this. Joe Namath Burrow. That dude's got to play healthy, man. It sounds like he doesn't really have a choice, Sills. Okay? Sills, I love how you keep everything real. You and Zander have created something special. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Fans need to appreciate your insight and knowledge of sports. DFW, we got off to an absolute horseshit start, and I absolutely love you being in here. Reyes, 10 weeks, and it would have to be a mitigated disaster at that point. Mannion probably has a larger set of tools mentally than Petula does. Not a bad take. You don't draft a white corner, Sills. Correct. I'm racist. Hey, I don't know. Maybe that's why I like Cooper. Cooper, what are you doing out there? Hey, by the way, you don't hire Italian accountants. Hey, who's your accountant? If your accountant is named Jonathan Garoppolo, no. We build bridges and mow lawn. Okay. Hey, we build bridges and mow lawns. We don't keep a checkbook. Cooper DeWaller. We don't have races. We got a lot of God Glazers, please. Do you see Mark comparing Dallas's running back to Taylor, saying it's a better deal because he makes $8 million a year? Now the money is right, but he's not a better back than Jonathan Taylor. Mark said that. Remind me, Angelo, for next Wednesday. If that guy says that and says that Williams is as good as Jonathan Taylor, hold on for a second. Jonathan Taylor. I know he got injured a little bit too. Let's see here. Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor. 1811, 1269, 2 down years, 1431 and 1585. Yeah, no. Hey, dude, why don't you go run over to Twitter? That's where your outhouse wall is. And you got to get to go play over there with your loser friends. Let's see here. I'm not. No. Hey, no, thank you. Hey, listen. No. Aaron Donald worked out for the Rams today. I thought it was yesterday. You know why they had to address it? Because he used their gear. If he had come with his own gear, they wouldn't have to address it. But because he used their shoulder pads and helmets, he had to. There's a reason you hire Germans to build rockets. Oh, my God. I'm not touching. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, I kind of ripped a guy who put the tattoo of Jalen Hurts on his leg. I'm like, damn, dude. You got to be kidding me, right? You put a tattoo of a guy on your arm or your leg? Woo! That's the people that are covering the Eagles. I'm going to put a tattoo of Jalen Hurts on my calf. Oh, my God. They're my hero. Let me put a tattoo of Jalen Hurts on. Hey, I'm surprised Reyes doesn't have a tattoo of Jalen Hurts on his palm. Come on, Phil. I'm just like, damn, put a tattoo on your calf? Yeah. Hey, I hear that kid Brody's got a tattoo of Hurts on his inner thigh. Oh, my God. Dude, I don't know. Somebody sent it to me and they go, hey, you see one of the hosts over at IP has a tattoo of Jalen Hurts? I'm like, okay. Yeah. What's that kid want to be when he grows up? Oh my God. I don't know. Okay, I guess, to each his own. I'm gonna buy Sil some Kelly Green shades so the Glazers will accept him. I'm gonna walk out here with like glazed donut Reyes glasses. They're gonna have big happy smiles on them and a big old eagle on them. There's very real racism in this country, which loses credibility when people fling it around loosely, such as in defense of a quarterback who goes the entire halves of football with 0 yards through the air. And by the way, I'm not the only one to criticize. Like I said, when I opened up the program today, everybody's open to criticism. Even Quick said it. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, here's another one here. Let's get back to the Eagle wideouts. Oh, before we get there, let's go to Markel Bell. I guess Markel Bell is having a pretty good camp, which is good to hear. Reyes, you were right. A lot of folks are saying he's having a really good camp. I heard John McMullen, was it last night, Zander? Those guys worked last night and they did Birds 365 this morning. So they had it going on. Kudos to those dudes. I don't know if we'll talk to Zander at the bottom of the hour, but I don't know if I heard it last night or this morning that they're ramping up Markel Bell and he's getting more reps. Okay. Do they feel he's beating out Fred? Do they think he's now moving ahead of Fred? Or they're getting him more reps? Or are they prepping because something's going on with Lane? You got to have contingency plans, right? And by the way, I don't blame them here. I'm going to make a comment to you guys about Chris Cooper here. If something is going on with Lane and Chris Cooper gets Markel Bell into playing shape and he contributes, kudos to Chris Cooper. His first test is right now getting Bell up to speed to be able to play and contribute. I didn't think he'd contribute. I said if he beats out Fred Johnson as the swing tackle, that would be a major win for selecting them and him where they did. That would be immense success for Chris Cooper in his first year. It would put some of the criticism of people moving off of Jeff Stoutland if this guy develops this dude. If he develops him, all of a sudden, let's say that Lane can't play week 1. He goes out there and he puts in a great performance. All of a sudden he becomes a contributor and you're able to move off of Fred, or you have depth with Fred and with Markel. Then you start doing this with Chris Cooper. Hey, guys making an impact. That catastrophic fall off that people were assuming, including me a bit, would be like this. Hey, dude, you now got more depth than you did a year ago. You got Markel Bell and Fred in case you have disasters. So this is a moment for him. Get him ramped up. This is a moment for the assistant coach to show that they made the right move, is my point. By the end of the year, if the Eagle offensive line is back to being with depth and playing well and running the ball, you are going to be a factor. More reps, the better. O-line could always use depth. Well, they didn't have it last year. And you know why they didn't have it last year? You heard Landon say that they brought him back too soon. I think that's got a lot to do with the lack thereof depth. Well, you may be creating depth. Drew Kendall and Markel Bell and Fred Johnson might be your depth on your football team this year. Dude, it's a good thing. Two guys are benefiting right now. What two guys are benefiting right now in camp the most, you think? I got to write shit down or I'll forget it. What two guys do you think are benefiting the most right now? What do you think? Two guys are benefiting the most in camp so far. It's a positive. Okay? What do you think? Two dudes. Bell and Trotter? Hey, I think you're right with Cooper. I think you're right. How about this? Jalix Hunt and Markel Bell. Jalix Hunt and Markel Bell, and I will put Dontavian Wicks and Darius Cooper in that conversation. You're right. But Jalix Hunt is getting reps with the first unit. And he's showing up every single practice. And Markel Bell is getting reps now because Lane's not there. Those two dudes are getting great. They're getting a lot of love. And the coaches are giving them reps with first team. Seals, what advice would you give for someone that wanted to start streaming, create content like you? It would be sports and current events, but I've seen you grow and succeed. I respect your opinion. Thank you very much. Well, I should have got into it sooner. And I got into it with the Krauses. And for me, having gotten into it, dude, when we first started, we were putting on all these massive guests, and we were getting nobody. And obviously, it's ebb and flow because it's a football show. But what happened was that we started talking to you. And one of the cool things in my radio career, I was on radio for 30 years. And I did morning drive for 25. One of the cool things I always did was that I put the guest on, but I would also have a lot of callers call into the program. Not everybody I'd put on, but I would put on people and I would talk to folks, talk to the fans to make the shows grow. So if I were you, I'd make it interactive. My thing is one day, I hope we're able to one day have people where we can click and they can talk and we can hear you guys talking. We can go back and forth. Let's see here. Hey, Prince, I'll say the same thing to you. Let's stick to sports, bro. Let those lowbrow thinking idiots do whatever. Okay? Who gives a shit? They're in here to take us off our game. That's all they're in here for. They hate success. You guys have done an amazing job at building something special. They have. Oh, they believed in me when no one else did. First day of the NFL being on the schedule. Oh, my God, the Hall of Fame game is tonight. Looking forward to it, dude. Chicago been on this for a while. They try not to report crimes. Oh, I'm not doing that shit. Sills for the Cowboys week. Could you get Brad Sham back on? Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh. Let's see here. This is what I was trying to avoid. Prince, fuck them guys. Seriously. Another good thing that Joe Krause told me. I'm not punching down on these idiots. Get ready for Kenny Flickett tonight. Kenny Flickett. All right, I'm going to do something here. I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to rank the Eagle wideouts. Rank the Eagle wideouts halfway through camp. I'll bet you anything. The Eagles have 4 more. They have 4 more practices for training camp. Hey, Dan, I saved this message from last week for a special moment. I remember years ago when you first started, the passion you speak with keeps me here. Thank you. Thank you. As Angelo said, and I reposted it, let me read that. I'm a dying breed in how I do sports talk. Everyone gets tattoos on their calves, kisses the ass of the teams, and are cheerleaders. I talk with what I see and what I feel. This is not strategic. I told you I'm like the Joker. Hey, man, if you think I've got a plan, you're kind of out of your mind. I don't have a plan. I go to bed, I wake up, and I write topics down. Plain and simple. That's why when a guy comes in here and says, this guy's only baiting? No. When you tell the truth, people hate it. They would rather be lied to in life. I throw up a little win. I completely agree with DFW. Thank you, Jacob and Sills. Sills, would you characterize Rush Limbaugh as a baiter? I think he'd be proud of your show and the way that you lead your show. I love Limbaugh. Not his politics, but what he taught me as a radio guy. Rush Limbaugh taught me radio and broadcasting. When I say he's a baiter, the more truth he spoke, the more you hated him. Or his truth. That's how you got to look at it. Rush was a tremendous broadcaster. Like I said, whether you agreed with him or not, I don't care about that. I care how he delivered the content. That's what he told me. I told you guys the one story. I used to go down every year. Gabe Hobbs would send me down to, or he'd come up and Rush would do a show in Tampa. And what I would do is they made me sit for a week in his studio with Mr. Snerdley. And I would sit in that studio when he came up to Tampa. And Rush would laugh every break because people used to lose their marbles. He had me read a Tampa Times, what is it, Tampa Tribune. Or he had me read me the Miami Herald or the Palm Beach Post. And then I would hear him read it and I'd go, holy shit. I don't know shit about broadcasting. The way he read it, the way I read it was completely different. From that moment on, I knew what I was doing. I was wrong. I knew immediately. Hey, Sills, Mike Quick was great. It sucks you can't get Merrill on. The 2 golden voices of the Philly sports were Harry Callis and Merrill Reese. Hey, Howard, I'll get to you here in a minute. By the way, Hangry, thank you so much. Howard, let me tell you something about Harry Callis. I loved Harry Callis. His son was a broadcaster for the Tampa Bay Rays. And one of my coolest things that ever happened, Todd said, you got to come down to the Phillies complex over in Clearwater. So hey, dude, this is how I got this ball signed by Dick Allen. It was because of Harry Callis. And it was because of, what's his name? Coach of the Guardians. And he was like, come over. Terry Francona, go come over. So I went over to Clearwater. Harry Callis and his son Todd, who used to come on I'm dear friends with Todd. And Harry Callis used to come on my show all the time. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Oh, having Harry Callis on? The guy who took over for Facenda. What a great dude Harry was, man. Always, every single time I called him, he would come on my program. Just a great guy. Every time he came down to Clearwater, I'd go over and have lunch with Harry Callis. Harry Callis is an all-time great play-by-play man. Merrill is an all-time play-by-play great voice. Sure. Sometimes people hear it different and it lands different. I mean, you know who? My wife, Kim, are you down there listening? One of my favorite people my wife used to put on my program all the time was Milo Hamilton. He called Henry Aaron's 715 in his home run. We would call Milo Hamilton up. Man, I'm a huge Milo Hamilton man. God rest his soul. Man, I love that guy. Milo was just super. And one of my favorites. And Harry Callis and he knew that I knew all them guys. Okay. Smitty, Wicks, Elijah, Cooper, Lemon, Wilson. So I got Lemon low because I haven't seen anything on paper. It's kind of bleak, but we'll see. All right. Here's my 6. I've got Devontae Smith, Dontavian Wicks, Elijah Moore, Darius Cooper, Hollywood Brown, and Mekhi Lemon. And I heard Mike Gill talking to the guys today. Zander's going to join us in a couple minutes. I heard Mike Gill say today, and I heard John say, because he's a first rounder, you don't really have to get him on the field. Well, that's great when you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith as your 1 and 2 wide receivers. Yeah, you don't have to get them on the field. But you're telling me you're changing an offense and you drafted 2 wideouts that aren't going to get on the football field? So Stowers and Lemon have no pressure to be part of this new offense early? Really? And you're going to count on Journeyman and Devontae Smith to carry the water for your passing game? How is that not a dive off a cliff? Not a drop from AJ to whomever. How is that not a cliff dive? You go from AJ to Devontae. Dude, the drop off even to Jahan Dotson, to who the 3 guys going to be, is big. Get this. The 1 and 2 drop off between Brown and Smith was not a big difference. The drop between Smith and Wicks is an enormous difference. And the drop between Wicks and whomever is an even bigger difference than what you've had the last couple years. How's that not a problem? Especially when you need offensive skill set guys when you're changing your passing game. How are you not thinking that that might be an issue? Sad, man. I honestly forgive him. Wish he didn't fall off like he did, because the real him wasn't like that. Wicks is looking good right now. Bro, I'm not saying Wicks is not looking good in practice. He's not AJ, but he's been good. Hey, Chris, that's as fair a statement as you could possibly make on where you are in your wideout room right now. He's been good. But guess what? He's not AJ. Yes. That statement can't be any more truthful. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. And that's exactly how you should look at it. Hey, Sills, Wicks has been good. He really has been. I mean, he's been a good football player, but he's not AJ. Wicks won't be as big a drop-off. Wicks won't be as big as a drop-off as you think after that. It's all the question marks. Bro, he wasn't a factor in Green Bay. How are you saying that? But you know what? Let me go back. You might be right. And I'll give you one on this here. Hey, by the way, what was Wicks drafted? AJ was a second rounder, right? Where was Wicks drafted? What round was he drafted in? Dontavian Wicks. Where was he drafted? So he's a fifth rounder. 159th player overall. Yeah, I don't know. He's been a dude his entire career. It's not like, because AJ wasn't really the focal point in Tennessee. And I didn't know AJ was that guy either. I won't lie. Anybody who thought A.J. Brown was that guy when he was in Tennessee is full of shit. Because Tennessee, what would they get? Treylon Burks after that? And that guy turned out to be a dud. Okay, so, I mean, nobody saw that in Tennessee. You know why? Because they had Derrick Henry. And they had Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback. So nobody knew what he was. So I don't know. Maybe he turns out to be a factor. I don't know. If Wirtz turns out to be great here, Green Bay needs to look at their coaches and figure out why they couldn't get it out of them. I'll say this to you, my friend. Green Bay doesn't draft wide receivers high. That kid they got the other couple of years ago out of North Dakota State, they don't draft wide receivers in the first round. I don't think during the entire time of Aaron Rodgers, and maybe even during the entire time of Brett Favre, they couldn't have drafted more than one wide receiver in the first round. I don't even know if they ever did during Aaron Rodgers' time. Drafted wide receiver number one, except for the kid that came out of North Dakota State. Yeah, that's brand new. Brand new. The kid Golden from Missouri. Golden was the only wide receiver Green Bay took in the first round in the past 20 years. Yeah, that's right to the point. That's right. Yeah, because the quarterbacks made the receivers up there great. Look who they had. Seals always thought Wicks trade and sign was a head scratcher until you realize he's probably here more to help with transition of Mannion's terminology. Yeah. That's part of it. Plus, he's not a bad player. But to sit there and say there's no drop-off is ridiculous. Seals, what was James Jones' draft when Rodgers was a quarterback in Green Bay? I don't remember I thought he was he a third rounder? Something like that. And I forget who else was up there during that time. Under Rodgers and Favre. Dude, they really didn't draft first-round draft choices. Green Bay doesn't do that. And you're right with the kid from Missouri lately. They've actually been trending more that way in drafting skilled set guys more in upper rounds. But in years past, Gutekunst hasn't done that. It's wild saying that Lemon and Stowers don't have to be productive. That's like saying Q and Coop don't have to play because we have Keely Ringo you draft in the first and second round for production year one. Dude, that's when I heard that Lemon and Stowers don't have to get on the field. Really? Wow. So you're relying on Elijah Moore, Dontavian Wicks, Darius Cooper to pick up the water for the loss of A.J. Brown. Okay. What's crazy is how people talk about all these other quarterbacks choking and being losers, yet their quarterback went an entire half without completing a single pass against practice squad players. Everybody is open to criticism. I really did think that was one of the best topics I had heard on Jalen Hurts today. When I tuned on First Take, and I was like, okay. And when they said this, has the criticism of Hurts been fair or foul? And Stephen A. Smith actually had the take. He's like, it's foul to think he can't win a Super Bowl and rip him that he can't do it again, because he can. But it's fair because of the last couple of years and what you're watching. He doesn't look the same. The offense doesn't look the same. And just because you won a Super Bowl doesn't exclude you from criticism. Stephen A's right. It didn't exclude Brady from criticism. They were ripping Brady a new one in the Boston Herald. And I was up there for it. I was doing sports talk radio and WEEI in Boston. I'm like, you're out of your mind to try to move off of Brady. For Garoppolo? You're not subject to be a cover. Well, he won a Super Bowl, been to 2. You never criticize a guy ever again. What? It's absurd. Well, the guy was great. And because he did this, you never get a chance to do it ever again. Don't ever talk about my guy like that. Give me a break. All right. Yes, sir. We are 38 days. And by the way, we got ball tonight. I don't give a shit if it's phony football tonight. We got pro football, Hall of Fame game. And by the way, I thought Mike Quick was great today. Without further ado, our friend, you catch him at Birds 365 in the morning. He is Big Z, Zander Krause. Hardest working man right now in show business, man. Last night, I couldn't tell what show I heard certain things on, the night show or the damn morning show. You guys were going back and forth. How you doing, Z?
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother? Good Thursday afternoon to you, my friend.
By the way, I think you were dead on with these headphones. I think you were dead on.
It's still annoying. You can see I'm wearing one too.
Yeah.
It still pisses me off because I got this weird thing with my ears where like it happens with ski goggles too, or a ski helmet. If I put pressure on my ears for too long, they start to kill me. Ugh. So I've never worn headphones in all my years producing since I've done JAKIB for the last 6 years now. And all of a sudden the mics don't work. I got to wear headphones. I mean, come on. I don't know what's going on, but we'll figure it out.
Come on. What'd you make of Mike Quick and some of the comments that he made about Mekhi Lemon and also about the new offense?
Good. I mean, I think he was honest about Lemon, but I do think, for the most part, he obviously has an optimistic point of view for the team, which is a good thing. I think it's fair to be optimistic on them at this point, but I thought he was pretty honest on Lemon.
I'm going to give you, and I'm going to ask you that topic that I heard today on ESPN. Fair or foul? Has the criticism of Jalen Hurts been fair or foul, and how people cover him?
Well, I think in many ways it's been both. I think there's been fair criticism of him, and I think there's been foul criticism of him. I think normally in society we live in today, this doesn't just go for football. I mean, look at politics, look at Thanksgiving dinners with everybody. We tend to live in the extremes, and I think most people prefer to not live in the extremes. I think the truth about Jalen is he wins a lot. He's part of a great football team, which can you knock him for that? Not really, but I think it makes people who are his detractors cling to that maybe more so. But they win a lot of football games, and he doesn't do it in a way that exuberates this individual talent like some other people do. For example, Pat Mahomes wins a lot too. Pat Mahomes wins in ways that you're like, holy shit, sidearm throws and insane stuff. And he's elevating crappy receivers and all these different things. And, Jalen wins in a more modest way. He doesn't crush you with this individual talent or this crazy arm ability. He always seems to say the right thing, Jalen Hurts. And I think that creates, in a way, it creates controversy. It also is, we're sports fans, and sports fans tend to be bombastic one way or another. It's kind of our outlet from the world. And, many choose to be emotional about it or have thoughts one way or the other that are pretty extreme. But look, he's been a great player. He hasn't been perfect at all. He has deficiencies like I believe every player in the league does. But they got to keep winning, and he's got to keep winning. And I think it's fair. Where I think it's fair is to say is, to be that guy, to be looked at as the elite quarterback, to be looked at as the 60 million plus player guy, when things aren't perfect around you, which through the course of an NFL career, they will not always be, no matter how good your GM is. Do you have the ability to lift, to elevate, and to rise the tides of everybody around you so that your team can perform at their best? And I think that's where some of the criticisms of him are valid, in that outside of 22, which is 1 year of a 5-year starting career now, he hasn't quite elevated everybody around him to the level that I think some are hoping for, or some are wishing to see from someone that gets called an elite quarterback. So that's where I think it's fair. Where it's foul is people who say he sucks, he doesn't suck. Come on, guys. He fucking started 5 years in the NFL. He's been in the playoffs all 5 years. I don't care who the hell you are. You don't suck if you have that level of success. Now, not elite. All right. I think that's more of a fair conversation, but controversial player, controversial city, controversial team, controversial sports talk host on my screen right now. That's the world we live in, my friend.
Well, I would say this. One of the things that I loved about Stephen A. Smith today was when he said this, hey, dude, because you win a Super Bowl, you're not off limits if you're not playing well. Tom Brady was criticized, and they were wanting to move off of him for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I agree.
After he sucked against Kansas City. So I think what happens is some of the Eagle fans have done this. Well, Hurts has been to 2 Super Bowls. He won one. He's off limits on criticism. That's not a take.
I agree with that. I don't even know what that means. To be honest with you, we're sports talk hosts. Unfortunately, yeah, but we have to make opinions. He's not above. I don't think anybody's above criticism.
Yeah, but see, you hear people go, well, it's KP's fault. It's AJ's fault. It's Nick's fault. It's the organization's fault. No, he's the face of the franchise.
I agree with that.
And Allen is open for criticism in Buffalo for not winning.
Isn't that part of the burden? Isn't that part of the burden of being, that guy? You know what I mean? It's like heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yes.
Well, that's true of an NFL quarterback too. So, I think it's fair, but also I do think, and I'm guilty of this as well, but I think Philly fans, me included, will sometimes obviously are so focused on our own team that we detach from the reality of what's happening around the league. For example, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback in the National Football League right now, and it's not really close. He's kind of taken a hit on some of the QB lists I've seen.
Yes.
I've seen people say, "What is Pat Mahomes? Has he peaked? Is he on his way down now? Will the Chiefs return?" It's because he hasn't played as good. Now he's got the injury. He's got a lesser team around him. There's all these different variables that might lead to that would lead you to believe why he's played worse. But again, he's got to bear the burden of that as the franchise quarterback. So I think sometimes we're too focused on it in Philadelphia. At the end of the day, when the offense has performed poorly, which it did last year, look, the quarterback's going to be under heavy scrutiny. And I think that's true or fair of any team. So look, Joe Burrow is probably the worst offensive line in football. And I think he deserves a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You can't stay on the football field. Right. You got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins out there. Come on, dude. You know what I mean? If you're as great as everyone says you are, you got to elevate that, you know? So sometimes it's like, all right, some excuses or some variables make sense. And then on the other breath, it's like, there is no excuses. You know what I mean? Like, so be it. You got to go out there and perform with what you have and try and make the most of it. And if you don't, you know, you're going to get criticized or you're going to get praised one way or the other. You know, you got to live with it either way.
How about this? Let me go here with this one too. I heard you guys talking with Mike Gill, and John was saying this. You really believe, Zander? Do you really believe that Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers, it's cool that they're not going to be part of the offense early? That, hey, to try to matriculate them in and get them acclimated to the upcoming season when you in dire need of playmakers after you lost one of the biggest playmakers? You really think that those guys not having any like impact on your offensive passing attack, you think that's cool?
I mean, I don't think it's great, but like Sills, if you go down the list right now, number 1 overall pick this year is Fernando Mendoza. Anybody expecting him to have an impact this year?
I think quarterbacks are different than every other position, dude.
All right. How about Kenyon Sadiq, the 16th overall pick? You expecting him to have a massive impact this year?
Not after him getting hurt in camp yesterday.
Did he? I didn't see that.
Yeah, he got hurt with the Jets here, but I think they were trying to. Well, you think with the kid Tate that was
Cornell Tate, but I mean that's the number 4 overall pick. That's different than the 20th overall pick. I mean,
okay.
You know, this is like, so look, I don't think it's ideal more based on the circumstances the Eagles are in as compared to the general consensus of what top draft pick should be in the league. I think you see tons of top draft picks across the league that don't really contribute to year 2 and 3, even if they have a year 1 where they play, but they aren't, you know, like for example, look at some of the Giants recent picks. I mean, how high they take that dude? What's that dude's name? Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, it took him 2-3 years to be able to be an impact player. You know, that's okay. He might be a really good player. It took him some time. So I think across the league, I mean, it's more common, but I think the circumstances that the Eagles are in this summer with trading AJ, coming off a year with bad offense, you know, basically trying to make up for some of the offensive deficiencies by drafting a first-round receiver. Like, for example, they didn't trade AJ and go and sign or trade for some big player to replace him. They used the first-round pick. When, by the way, if I zoom back to the day before the NFL draft or even the day of the NFL draft before that pick came in, not many people believed the Eagles were going to draft a wide receiver with the first overall pick. So they did this. They made this pick that kind of went against what most people were thinking they would do based on their needs. They trade away A.J. Brown a couple months later, and now you got a fan base that's like, well, shit, this offense now needs to get better with Mekhi Lemon. And I think it's created this maybe unfair expectation, but I think a very real expectation of I fall in that same boat. You know, look, this is a Super Bowl winning window for the Philadelphia Eagles. You're either admitting to me, Eagles, that you've pivoted or you've switched to pivoting for the future of the Eagles, maybe the next 3 to 5 years, or you believe the window's still open and you drafted Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers to be a part of that window that we think is still open. You know, so I think it's kind of between a rock and a hard place here for this team because of the circumstances more so than, hey, you have a first round pick and he has to contribute in year 1. You know, I don't think that's the case in most places.
Well, I don't think that it's universal either. I think it's situational. You think the Giants are in a sense of urgency to develop players right now or no?
No, but maybe they should be.
compared to the Eagles, right?
They're not.
They're in a different place right now because you just mentioned Super Bowl window, right?
Right. I agree with that.
So when I have a younger player like Malik Neighbors, whether that guy gets on the field and I can get him along as I'm trying to get other pieces in my offense, there's going to be more time and I've got to have a little bit more in a rebuild because I'm trying to rebuild my offense, right? So there's going to be a little bit more margin of error whether or not you've got time to develop that player.
So what you're saying is if you're operating like a great, you're operating like a great franchise, you have higher expectations than everybody else.
And which means you have a shorter window and margin of error to get these guys up to speed, right?
Well, there's always a smaller margin for error.
If you want to take advantage of that Super Bowl window, Zander.
Right. I mean, there's always a smaller margin for error when you're going for a Super Bowl. You know, I mean, only one team wins it, everybody. So, you know, that's naturally always going to create a smaller margin for error. But I've been trying to preface the lemon conversation because, you know, people always get their panties in a bind if you say it. It's like ridiculous. It's the buttercups. But I've been prefacing it by saying, I'm not yet worried about Lemon's career, right?
Agreed.
I'm worried about year one right now.
Yeah.
Because I do believe this team needs playmakers. You know, you get rid of A.J. Brown and you already have had, let's be real, a pretty poor passing offense. And you're also now installing this offense that relies a little bit more so on passing the football, on timing routes, on progression reads, you know, on the wide zone, all these different things. You know, you would think, hey, that's the time that you need A.J. Brown. You know, hey, I'm switching offenses. All right, well, your great receivers should help make that a little easier. Well, now you got rid of one of them, so you need another one to step up. Now, I have been somewhat intrigued by Dontavian Wicks. I mean, remember, Sills, they didn't only trade for him, but they gave him that 1-year extension as well. So he's going to be here for the next 2 years. So I think that's somewhat exciting that he's emerging. And if Lemon does get up to speed, you at least have a really good 3. I'm hoping Wicks can be the 2 this year and at least do it viably. But, you know, that's going to come back to QB for me, because when you have a player like that who seems to have good talent but hasn't really quite been a number 1 or a number 2 in his career, like that's where I go to the quarterback to elevate, right? Is Juju Smith-Schuster a number 2? Well, probably not on most teams, but Pat Mahomes looked at him and said, I'll make it work. I'll elevate you. I'll lift you up. Is he really a number 2? Probably not in the league today, right? So I think that's where Jalen has to do a really good job this year at elevating the play of those around him and being kind of that spark plug on the offense. You know, it's no longer as a word that Sileo will use on this show often, no longer the caboose. No. You know, you have to be the engine now. And I think that's part of the burden that comes with being the leader and the elite quarterback and the top 10 player and all those things. So I think that's what Jalen has to answer the bell on this year.
I'm going to tell you something that drives me nuts when I hear people say this. And I know what Vic did the other day when he said this. Nobody's keeping score out there. Bro, if you're filming practice and you're filming drills, there's a scoreboard out there. Do you think it matters in practice right now between the number 2 and the number 3 wide receiver in the Eagles when they're looking at practice film on who they're going to put in the second hole or the third hole or maybe even the fourth hole? Or when, how about this? Is Markel Bell really beating out Fred Johnson? Well, guess what, Zander, if you film it, that's scoreboard for players. Because for me to be able to play and me to be able to be in a rotation, how about this? You know those 2 edge rushers that Howie brought in? Those 2 guys that they brought in? You think scoreboard on practice film matters on who's going to be used at the 4th rotation piece? That's scoreboard, dude, for the players.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, well, in a very real way, dudes are about to get cut.
That's
so
real life scoreboard is life in your career is on the line. So when those guys say like this, practice doesn't really matter. Well, then, dude, why are you filming it? Okay, I get it. You're right, because film matters who's going to play in this team.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, it's, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm just like riding the fence too much here, but like to me, it's again too far one way or the other. Practice doesn't mean nothing. Like, I don't like when people are like, it's only practice every single time, and they don't expect ever to to hear some signs of evolution or improvement or consistency or flow or any of those things. And then I think the other side is like, I don't think you want every practice to look great, But I do think as you progress here, going into now practice number 7, I believe will be tomorrow. 6 was yesterday. I believe at some point you're going to want to turn the corner in terms of having more flow and having more continuity and having more consistency. There's an old saying, Sills, how you practice is how you play. And that doesn't mean, I think football is a little different because it's such a team-oriented game, and it's not like, for example, boxing or one of these sports that's so individual. But you do have to see here as we get a little deeper into camp, in my opinion, at least. All right, they're starting to pick things up a little bit more. Okay, the offense is starting to, play with more consistency and continuity, and, they're more on the same page, and there's less pre-snap penalties that you're seeing, and, it's less discombobulated. I think that's important, but I don't think you overreact one way or the other. So I don't think it matters, not at all. I don't think it's the end of the world, but, I do think they have to get to a point here where they're finding a little bit of rhythm. I think they're going to want that going into week 1 here with a new coordinator, with a new offense, new players out there, all those different things.
Do you agree? You've got to practice to be great every day. And if you're practicing to be great every day, it shows on Sundays. You can't just be great on Sundays.
Yeah, absolutely.
So practicing to be great on every play, in every scenario, in every opportunity. You want to better yourself. Bro, you're not going to get better playing on Sundays. You're going to get better practicing Monday through Saturday. That's how you get yourself prepared. Remember, preparation, Zander. Be prepared versus players that aren't prepared mentally and physically is almost 75% the battle.
Yeah.
When you go into games, you could be the
that's
most
an NFL problem now, dude. Like, for example,
Brady,
like you used to say at Miami, dude, our easiest day was game day.
That's
like, dude, they can't have that anymore, though. They get 74 minutes to practice, dude. Like there's no world where the practice is going to be easier than the game.
Okay, to your point, and I'll use Alabama and Ohio State. What do you think is tougher? The spring games and the spring practices at Alabama, at Ohio State, or the Saturday games during the regular season? You got 4 deep at Ohio State, 4 deep at Alabama, guys that are going to get drafted 2 years, 3 years. Me winning a job at Alabama, Ohio State is harder than any game I'll fucking play on Saturday.
I agree, but I don't think that's entirely an Eagle problem, honestly.
I'm just telling you.
It's legislated at this point, dude. Like Vic has talked about this every year.
That's why these practices matter every week.
It is, but it's hard to create the sense of intensity
and
without having as much time. Like, dude, something I've caught you saying this week, and I don't think you've knowingly been wrong about this, but I've caught you saying like 5 times this week, 2-a-days, 2-a-days, 2-a-days. There's not 2-a-days, dude. There's no 2-a-days. They don't exist. They're gone. They practice for 74 minutes and they're off the field. Now, maybe they go to the weight room or whatever, but you've been saying 2-a-days all week. I'm like, what's he talking about? There's no 2-a-days. But you're just stuck in that. You just have that thought process because that's what football practice used to be. It used to be brutal.
6 hours a day.
Yeah, it used to be brutal. It's not that anymore, dude. So,
6 hours a day of on the field practice. 3 hours, 3 hours.
That's why I think that continuity thing I just mentioned though matters because if you're limited though,
it's
harder.
Have to matter.
It's harder, but you're right. To your point, they're more important per practice. Per minute is more important. I agree with that.
All right. I want you to do me a favor. I want to hear your rankings of your top wide receivers right now on the Eagles. How you would put them in order right now. I'll give you mine right out of the gate here. I got Devontae 1.
Wait, real quick before you give me yours. Are you doing who you think should be the starting lineup or what you've heard from camp, who you think is the best right now? Meritocracy.
Who I have heard is having the camps in order. And how I would use them in offensive packages.
Okay.
Devontae Smith, Dontavian Wicks, Elijah Moore, Darius Cooper, Hollywood Brown, and I'm going to throw him in there because I have to. Kai Lemon.
Yeah, funny enough, I don't even know that Makai's been
The sixth guy.
yeah. I mean, I think, you're getting more reps for guys like Johnny Wilson even.
Yeah.
I mean, the other guys, Britton Covey apparently has looked better than him. So, it really hasn't been a great quick start for Makai Lemon here.
What would yours
Your
be?
rating, mine is the same as yours. I would maybe toss Cooper above Moore, maybe just because
Three.
the nod from Jalen Hurts has me thinking that he's
Look what I did.
trusting that player.
I changed that up. I put Cooper third there, but I put Moore above him because I think Moore's more experienced. But Moore's more experienced, so I changed it up.
Well, and remember, Moore does have pedigree. He was like, I think the 34th overall pick or a high second rounder. Cooper was undrafted, so I think Moore's kind of got that pedigree going for him, but and he failed, by the way, with the Jets. I mean, I've been saying recently, anybody who fails with the Jets side, I'm not counting it as a fail on your resume. No, I'm going to see you somewhere. Exactly. So I'm not holding that against him, but yeah, I think your list is about what it is, dude. Honestly, I mean, obviously Lemon's not going to be the sixth receiver. He's going to be out there, but you do wonder when crunch time comes if he doesn't show it, and this team truly does have Super Bowl aspirations. You do what you take to win. The coach, if presumably they're going to do what it takes to win a football game, well, shit, you might see Darius Cooper, Dontavian Wicks, and Devontae Smith out there. With Elijah Moore rotating in at the slot.
Man, Smitty's got to play every down,
dude. If Devontae Smith goes down,
or you take him off the field.
Yeah, it's trouble. You know who I think the best insurance on Smitty is this year? Cooper, Darius Cooper. Because he's kind of that big body. He's super physical, super athletic. He can line up inside, outside. You can line him up all over the place. John brought up a great point the other day where some guys have this great talent, right? Or this great pedigree, this great athleticism, but never in their career were they the number one playmaker on a team. For example, Eli Stowers, perfect example. Great athleticism. Oh, he's got all the traits, the intent, all the different things, but he's never actually bared the burden of being the number one guy. And I think that's almost a learned skill set where some dudes, even if it takes them longer to get acclimated or they aren't the pedigree guy drafted in round one, they're used to the ball coming their way. So once they get acclimated to the speed of the NFL, you need me to be your workhorse? I can be your workhorse. I'm ready to catch a football, get play in and play out. I think you're going to have that with Darius Cooper, who, played his college ball at Tarleton State. I think it's an FCS school.
It is.
And just dominated. Now, it's not as good a competition, but now it seems like he's playing pretty good against NFL competition.
Jalix Hunt has fucked that notion all up. Right. If the Eagles are drafting guys like that.
So I have a weird feeling, though, that Cooper's going to be big this year, dude.
Okay. Well, that would be a great surprise. By the way, would it shock me? No. Not after what we're seeing with Jalix Hunt here. Hey, dude.
Have you seen his numbers from college? Again, it's Tarleton State, but.
I saw it. Player, he was like there. Didn't he win? Wasn't he up for like the FCS Heisman Trophy or something like that? Where he was supposedly like the best player at FCS level. He was like up for that Walter Payton level. That Walter Payton
senior year, he had 76 catches for 1,450 receiving yards, second in all of Division I, and 14 touchdowns.
What was yards per catch?
76 catches, 1,400 yards. I mean, that's almost 20 yards per catch.
Okay. Hey, it might turn out to be a great sign here. All right, dude. Big one here. It's day 5. It's day 5. And in my family, if somebody's missing for 5 days, I'm going to send either an Amber Alert out. I'm going to send smoke signals. I'm going to send, and I'm going to call missing persons. I mean, dude, I heard John say they're ramping up Markel Bell, more snaps, first team. I mean, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. And I'm worried about it because I'm telling you right now, everybody, I know optimism is fun to be as an Eagle fan, and we got every reason to be one. But if you're talking about a first-year coordinator that's never called plays, no A.J. Brown, and no Lane Johnson, if that happens, I'm not going there yet, but I'm just giving you a scenario where if that happens, Sills, that's pretty hard for me to believe that's going to be an improving offense, dude.
You can't lose AJ and Lane.
I agree with you. You said that yesterday, and I sat there and thought about it for 5 minutes. I'm like, holy shit, that would be really bad.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm hoping Lane's all good. Hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully anything because obviously something happened. I mean, I don't want to say, hey, hopefully it's just his family. Obviously, I have sensitivity toward that. So bottom line is I hope Lane's all good and I hope he's ready to play football this coming year. But it's a little concerning, dude.
Let me give you a silver lining. Chris Cooper has a shot right now to be a superstar, and I'll tell you why. If that guy ramps up Markel Bell, and all of a sudden Markel Bell turns out to be somebody, and also this, then you created a swing tackle with Fred, and you got a guy in Markel, and you've created depth. And let's say that kid who's playing guard too, he ends up showing up. All of a sudden, that drop-off where people thought that Jeff Stoutland was not going to be a guy where people were going to look at it and go like this, hey, Nick, you're going to have to answer for this. I said that to you. If he ramps up Markel Bell into being a contributor in his first year, bro, that's a feather in Nick's cap and everyone in that organization's cap. If you can create some type of depth and that kid ends up being a player.
I know. I just don't want you to muddy it too far, dude. Remember, Jeff Stoutland is what he is. He couldn't get Andre Dillard to play good. My point in saying that is that the player has to be capable of doing it, no matter how good the coach is.
Agreed.
No matter how good the coach is. So, John, I'm not sure if you heard that, but John brought up a very interesting point as it pertains to Lane Johnson with Markel Bell. Did you hear that?
No.
So he said everybody's ears are perked up, obviously, on Lane Johnson. Well, one thing that caught my eye was are you still there? You good? You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Sorry, I refreshed. Day one when Lane missed, Fred Johnson was with the ones. And they rotated Markel Bell in for a couple reps. Now, day 4, 100% of first-team reps yesterday went to Markel Bell. Now, if I need a tackle for one game, I'm going to Fred Johnson. If I need a tackle for a long term, for a full season, I got to get Markel Bell ready to play.
Markel's going to start every preseason game.
So I'm just saying that was an interesting point to me by John they're no longer day one. They had Fred out there. Now it looks like they're in a fast track trying to get Markel Bell ready to go because they might be looking at this like they might need him. Now, again, we don't know. It's just
it could just be long-term for camp, not for the season though.
Maybe, but it's something to keep an eye on for sure. And I'm going to – I think it's the single biggest question on the team right now. Forget Mekhi Lemon. Lane Johnson's not playing this year. Now, again, we don't know yet. But if he's not, that's going to be tough to overcome.
I was listening to IP today, and I heard Hugh Douglas say something, and I completely disagreed. I want to know if you agree with Hugh or if you go down my lane here. He said that Jalen Hurts, for him to be a better runner, he has to be a better passer this year. I said it's reversed. For him to be a better passer, I think he's got to create that threat again in the run game. I disagree with Hugh because to me, the biggest threat, what do you think he's more efficient at? And what do you think people are more scared at? His arm or his wheels?
His wheels.
Okay.
But I agree with you.
I think the more he runs, the more those lanes open, no?
So I think you're right, but I'm more on Hugh's side because I believe, and I've said this before about the run game, I believe things are clammed up. And one of the reasons that Jalen doesn't have the running lanes that he used to is because they're taking away the outsides of the field and they're stacking everybody else in the box. And when you have 9 guys in the box or 8 guys in the box and you got 5 offensive linemen trying to block them, you don't have the numbers. So when you have a QB spy and 3 guys taking away outside the numbers, it's going to be hard for Jalen Hurts to run no matter how fast his wheels are working. So to me, if they start to if he starts to throw the football better and they start to use the middle of the field, or they stack the box and Jalen beats them, over the middle or to the tight end or to Mekhi Lemon across down the seam. Now I think the defense has to play you differently because you're taking what they're giving you. And once you start to, this is just my perspective, once you start to take what they're giving you, that's going to force them out of that coverage that has made you limited as a runner and might open some of those lanes back up. Now, once you flip to that, then I think you're right. You have to keep gashing them and keep running in order to keep things opened up. But to me, I think there's too many, dude. I think it's become too one-dimensional for defenses. Last year they literally came and just said, take away Saquon, stack the box. Take away the outside, stack the box. Every time. Nowhere to run. There was nowhere for Saquon to run. There was nowhere for Jalen to run. There's nothing the offensive line could do. So I think the best way to unplug it is pulling the hair out of the drain. And to me, the hair is an inept passing offense. There's got to be more ways you can beat a defense in the NFL. I think defenses are too good, even the worst one, which was the Cowboys last year. I think you have to be more versatile offensively in order to keep them on their toes and get different coverages. And then once you have different coverages, that's when I think you can start to run. You can gash, you can give it to Saquon, you can quarterback draw, you can run up the middle, you can, pass to the numbers again. Still don't have me?
Gotcha now.
What happened here? My bad. But that's just the way I see it.
Okay. Well, let me give you a different perspective here on it. And you tell me if you agree with it. So if I've got a running attack and I've got Saquon Barkley and I've got Jalen Hurts, if you're a defensive coordinator, are you going to play off the ball or are you going to crowd the ball to get a head start in the run game? My point is, if I'm afraid of the run, am I going to move up? That means you're going to have more open space in the zone to throw the ball if I fear the run. I'm not going to sit back and let Barkley and Hurts annihilate me on first and second down running the football. I'm going to move my backers up. I'm going to put guys in the lanes and in the zones and in the run game, and that's going to create this. What's the biggest thing people say about the Philadelphia Eagles and the quarterback? You know what they say? Let Hurts beat me in the passing game. They don't say this. Hey, Hurts can beat us in the run game because they know he can, because he has. So to me, Zander, okay, if I get back and Jalen's throwing the ball and I flood the zones more and I'm not handing it off, to me, I think that guy's got to create that threat again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Of being a guy to make you have to dude, the number one thing you want to do on defense, I've got to stop the run. The pass game, dude, you're going to live with the Vic plays 2 high safety zone for that reason. He'll give up yards for that. I can't get beat. Why was the Eagle offense awful last year? 3 and outs. 3 and outs. If I'm throwing the football and I'm not accurate with my quarterback, who's not the most accurate guy, and I'm creating 3 and outs, you know what I'm creating? Opportunity for the opposing team to get possessions. I've got to get that run game going, dude. And to get that run, what if Barkley is not the player he was in 24, at least half of it? Don't you have to count on the quarterback to fill the gap like you did in 22 when Miles Sanders had 1290, whatever it was? Jalen filled the other part of that gap with 700 yards, right?
Yeah.
So what's up with your StreamYard?
Why, it's not working now?
No, now you're good. Before it was a little hollow, but now you're good.
I don't know what the hell it is, dude. StreamYard, but no, I think you bring up a good point. I mean, I still see it that the passing game has to get going because you're too one-dimensional as a team. It's going to be easier for defenses to play you. Like if you beat me once over the middle, all right, you start beating me consistently, or you're going to change the way I play. Defenses aren't going to change the way you play you. They play you for one big play. It's just not how it works. It's the exception, not the rule. You start to gash them every time they give you an opening, or you stack the box and then you beat them over the top, up the middle, or down the seam. All right, no, now they have to respect it consistently. And that's where I think if they add that early in the year, it's going to be a lot harder for defenses to play them and make them one-dimensional. But I think you bring up a good point, too. I mean, I think there's more than one ways to look at it, but we'll see what happens. Did you see your boy AJ today?
No.
I just saw they put it in the chat. I just searched it. How about this? This is the most Sileo first line of an article I've ever heard in my life. This is on NewYorkPost.com. I didn't even know they did sports articles. AJ Brown just can't resist the good teammate scuffle. That's the first line. Apparently, him and Christian Gonzalez got into it today, and teammates had to separate them after Gonzalez got the better of Brown in a rep.
Good.
Woo!
You bet. Iron sharpens iron, baby.
Dude, I give that relationship 6 months.
You bet, baby. That's love. Hey, Christian Gonzalez is on the cusp of making $33 million a year.
Yeah, he is.
You bet. He's
and
on the cusp.
I don't know why they don't want to pay him. What's up with that?
No, they will before the start of the season. And by the way, what a fucking camp Brown's having. He's just killing it up there,
dude,
man.
By the way, I saw you put up this tweet the other day. Well, what an amazing camp AJ has. Guys, I kid you not. It was Drake May throwing to AJ Brown with no defenders on the field. AJ just was standing still and caught a pass from Drake May.
Too easy.
And Sileo goes, what a camp from AJ Owens. I mean, come on.
So. Hold on. Let me see here. How'd that thing do? I think that thing got about what? Here it is. I got 34,000 views on it. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, hey, since we're going there, let me say this one to you. I saved a juicy one for the last one here. Look at this. Fox Sports came out with the players under the most pressure in 2026. I won't do all 15, but here's your top 10. Tagovailoa. Will he re-energize his career in Atlanta? 10. Myles Garrett at number 9. Will he bring home a Super Bowl like Charles Haley did for the Cowboys? Number 8, Justin Herbert. Will he finally deliver? Number 7, A.J. Brown. Will he give the one missing piece they needed a year ago? Number 6, Bryce Young. Will he live up to the first round overall pick? Number 5, Travis Hunter. Ended poorly a year ago with injury. Number 4, C.J. Stroud in conversations for a contract extension in Houston. Number 3, Puka Nacua in his maniac ways, going into a final year with the Rams. And number 2, of course, Lamar Jackson. Got to deliver. And the number 1 man who's under the biggest pressure, according to Fox Sports in 26, is Philadelphia Eagles' own quarterback, Jalen Hurts. How you feel about that, Junior?
Let me find this article.
It's on my Twitter. Go right over to it. You'll see it. Look at that there, man. Holy cow. NFL Fox. Bang! No, it's right here. Wow. NFL quarterback.
Who said this shit? Nick Wright?
No. Bucky Brooks and Eric Williams. There it is right there. Fox Sports NFL. Who's under the most pressure to perform this season? The number 1 man is Jalen.
I don't disagree. I mean, he's got to elevate. He's got a contract looming, yeah. I wouldn't put him 1, but I mean, come on.
How come all that? Why all that on him who's been to 2 Super Bowls? Why is he under so much pressure, Z?
What do you mean? We've talked about it plenty ad nauseum today. The expectations here are through the roof. You know, when you're an elite player, you have to uphold the standard of being elite to every degree. And you watch. Patrick Mahomes has one more bad year this year. He'll be first on the list next year.
John's point's really a good one, too. He's taking some hits in them lists. I mean, you don't see him. You don't see. Okay, you don't see him there number one as you did in the past.
No. So it happens.
Funny,
Jalen knows it comes with the territory, Sileo.
I don't see Dak on this list. I don't see Allen.
Well, to be fair to Dak, I mean, I know Philly fans hate Dak, but anybody, I mean, everybody knows Dak was the least of their worries last year. Like, if you listed out the top 10 problems with the Cowboys last year, I don't think Dak would even be close.
So we have something that was probably going to happen. I heard that M. Reyes, if Jalen Hurts win the Super Bowl this year and he has a number one offense, I hear he's going to get a tattoo on his inner thigh, like the guy over at.
What was up with that? I saw that. I like Hunter Brody. I'm not chirping him, but I mean, that was interesting. I don't know. I just can't imagine like you had a dude right on your inner thigh. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get goofy here, but like a little weird to drop a dude next to your manhood. No, I don't know, dude. No, I mean, you tattooed him on your.
It's on his inner thigh. It's on his inner thigh.
I mean, you saw where it is. It's
I thought it was
not far off.
Oh my God. Oh man.
I don't know.
That'd be like me getting a tattoo of John McMullen on my hand.
I don't know, dude. I think it's worse.
Dude, I mean, dude, man, I don't know. So how are you feeling about your football team here, man, heading into tonight's first preseason ball game?
Yeah, where's that game on, by the way? How do I watch that thing? Is it
on
my TV?
God, don't tell me that. Don't tell me it's on Prime.
No, it's not on Prime. Prime doesn't want that shit.
No. Hold on. Don't fucking say that bullshit.
I'll find it for you.
NBC.
Panthers, Cardinals, riveting.
It's on NBC.
It's not on TV.
Yeah, it said NBC.
It says Peacock for me.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
NFL Plus. I got to re-up my NFL Plus.
Good.
I'm subscription to death.
Can't even watch football normally anymore.
I got my wife watches like shows and shit, so I get her all the subscriptions. I'm like, holy crap, there's like 30 of them, dude. It's like Peacock and Paramount and Netflix and Disney and Hulu and HBO and I'm like, holy crap. I got fucking more subscriptions than I know what to do with.
So Andy Dalton's the number 2. What happened to Tanner McKee, dude?
I don't know, dude. Dude's dropping a goose egg in camp.
This guy's dropping like an anchor in the water, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, are they moving him?
I don't know. I mean, are they going to be able to move him? I was joking with John last night. I'm like, yeah, all the other GMs are listening to our show right now. Like, well, our offer just went from a 4th to a 7th. Guy sucks in practice.
Wow. Man, I mean, what did John say? It was fool's. What do you call him? Pyrite? The guy says he's fool's gold, and we sold a bill of goods or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Bro, man, I'll tell you what. I'm a little concerned. Hey, this last one here. I'm a little concerned on Lane, dude. I'm starting to get there now.
I'm in wait and see mode. I need an update before I get too concerned.
I don't care he's mispractice. I care.
I need an update. I want to hear. I'm waiting for a reporter to come out with an update.
Yeah.
The last update was it's for personal reasons. I'm like, I know. I'm looking for an update.
I want to know if he's going to come back.
Yeah, I'm not.
You know what I would like the Eagles to say? Hey, folks, don't worry about it. He's coming back. He just needs time. Okay. Nobody would say another word about it.
I don't know.
Why can't it be that easy? Look, everyone, it's all good. He'll be back. He just needs a little time. And then I think everybody would go like this, knowing his history. Hey, dude, I just carry he's there against the Commanders.
Everybody's pretty tight-lipped about it. I mean, I wonder if it's.
I
saw a rumor somewhere. It's just a rumor. I have no idea if it's true. That it was like maybe there was a death in his family, like one of his extended family or something.
I sure hope not.
I hope not either. But without
it's reasoning.
Without being heartless and emotionless, obviously I have sympathy for that. But it would show you, okay, he will be back for the season. You know what I mean? Like if it's mental health again, or he's considering retirement, like those to me that's problematic. So we'll see.
Aaron Donald practicing with the Rams.
How many people we got watching here today right now? Oh, I was gonna drop a little surprise nugget, but I think I'll hold it. I'll hold it for a little
Don't
while.
do that to me. Counting Twitter, we got about 420 people right now watching.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold the surprise nugget for now.
Oh my God, is it good?
It's great. It's got nothing to do with the Eagles, but it's great.
Okay.
You actually already know the surprise nugget.
I do?
Yeah, you know
it. I don't know what the nugget is. Put it in the box for me at least, so I'll at least have it. Type it in the box so you make me, because you know me.
I'll
be nervous. I'll be panicked all night. Let me guess. It's your old man giving me shit about not having a big guest, and I have.
I was with my pops today. That was great to fucking see him.
Hey, and then your dad. Oh my God, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Oh, all right, folks. Drop the fucking nugget.
Hey, Zander, I think everybody would love it if you told them.
Yeah, I'm not right. I'm not going.
All right. So, folks, I'll tell you something about his fucking old man yesterday. So his old man sends me an email, and Zander had no idea too, by the way. Sends me so I've been like, I have the Sports Grid show. By the way, we got a graphic going to go on. We're going to
promote. Dude, don't get mad at me. Your guests, your viewers should be ripping your ass right now.
Hold on. So yesterday, and you know me, folks, of course I overreact on everything. And I go like this, and I get this email out of nowhere. And plus his old man's always breaking my stones. I hate when he starts my show. So I get this fucking email, and it's got all these pictures of all the guys who have been on that Sports Grid show. I've only been on 6 months. Hey, all these guys used to show up over at fucking your show at JAKIB, and I'm like, they will again. So I text him. I go, what the fuck did that mean? And I'm texting him back and forth, and sure enough, he goes like this. I'm just saying, I want to get it ready for you. All of a sudden, I go, Mike Quick's on tomorrow. He goes, see? And I'm like, fuck that. It was predetermined that he was bro. Your old man giving me shit like that. I was like, it was hilarious. Hey, I laughed after because we both talked and we both called, but oh man. By the way, Mike was great today. He really was. Mike agreed to come up. By the way,
Mike was great.
Listen, I told Mike what Bob Lang did to Merrill. He goes, well, he ain't doing that to me. And I said, great. You could be able to come on like once a month at least for me. He goes, yeah. So he's going to work on coming on once a month for us.
All right, that's good. I see the chat right now speculating all over the place.
I don't know anything.
All you guys will have to wait.
I don't know shit. All I know, it's got maybe something to do with the Corvette.
No.
Hey, how's that thing coming?
Yeah, so I got another call yesterday. Oh my God, what a pain in the ass, man. So the quote right now was up to like, it was 48 G's, and then they got the quote for the engine, which was because they have to take the engine out, was 12.5 to take it out, put it back, fix what's under it. The bay was broken, like the Bedford casting, it's called, was broken. That's 12.5. So the quote is up to 60 plus grand to fix this Corvette. His insurance companies, they've already accepted 100% fault, so it's all in their hands. But insurance companies are a nightmare. I mean.
Yeah,
so
they don't want to pay.
Now they call back and they're like, the quote's up to 60 plus, and they want an itemized list from the body shop of every single part that they have to order. And I'm like, dude, like, it's just so much. But so I got that call today, or earlier today. So he said, I'm going to get the list together and I'll submit it to the adjuster and we'll see what they say. But that thing's as good as gone.
Dude, 60. Jeez, like, they're going to want to itemize it down to the
yeah, that's what they said. No, literally to the screws.
Yeah,
to the screws.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're kidding me. So
right,
it is what it is.
Hey Z, so what's going on tomorrow? Do you have a normal show tomorrow, or
night show and tomorrow? Night show, a little Friday night show.
You think Lane shows up tomorrow?
I think I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he closes the week out, not there. So,
wow, man, and nobody like
look at Bootleg. He says he's gonna have to sell the Corvette because he's got a baby on the way. LMAO, ain't fooling me. Bootleg, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh my God, Italy was good.
Z is getting that tattoo. Yeah, no, thank you, Christopher. Prince, no comment to you what you had to say. I'll confirm or deny in the future.
Big Z, we will catch you tomorrow night. Actually, we'll catch you tomorrow on the program. We'll get you on the program tomorrow too. We'll see what's going on there. And it'll be a football. How about this? A real football Friday coming off of a game. I don't care. It's not real football. I can't wait to see the NFL on the field today.
How much of it can you watch though? The full thing?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I watch the defensive linemen, and I'll watch like the edges, and I'll watch like O linemen. I don't know if they'll probably not. Kenny Pickett's playing today.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, Kenny Flickett's going to play. You think they put Jeremiah Love in?
Probably not.
You think Sweat plays?
Josh Sweat? No.
Yeah. No?
Why would he play?
Z, football is here, bro.
Good. I'm excited.
No doubt.
Look at mine. Sorry, capitalism is effing with your insurance claim, Big Z. Mine, your classic.
Yeah.
All right, so.
All right, Z, I will see you tomorrow on the program. Thank you, brother. Love you, man.
All right, man. Later, brother. Love you too.
You got it, man. That is Big Zander there. We will pay some bills here. Folks, my great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason. It's because they win. Folks, I tell you this all the time. There is no company like it. If you've ever been injured on the job, Morgan & Morgan is your company. The family in Pennsylvania I constantly tell you about that was initially offered $650,000. They got nearly $30 million in settlement. Or the family down in Florida that was initially offered $350,000. They got nearly $12 million in settlement. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sill sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers, Welcome to the viewfinders, the thrill seekers, and the night owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Hey, man. When promised, we deliver here at JAKIB. And we always say this, and I apologize, that anytime you guys send supers, we will always read them. And I apologize for missing that because, again, I can't tell you how many supers you guys sent, especially during the offseason, on how important that was for us to continue and keep doing what we're doing here. By the way, like we said, we don't block anybody here. So when you guys donate to it, it completely means everything. Again, that's how these shows all work. And so we're going to bring Zander back in here. Dude, you know, we got to do our public service announcement here, Zander, all the time when people send our supers in here. We got to get to these guys because it's totally important in how these guys support.
Yeah, no, you said it, man. Off season, we honestly, the truth is, we probably wouldn't go through the off season.
That's right.
We probably wouldn't do shows through the off season if we didn't have such a good, community of people, the memberships and the super chats and things like that. So we do appreciate and love all you guys. Here's
Absolutely.
David. David's the one who reminded me. Don't forget to read the supers. LOL, chimichangas. I used to love chimichangas. Here's David Selbo says, what wide receiver trio would the Eagles want in the building? In my opinion, the guys they have right now are the best fit for the new offense. Honestly, AJ wouldn't do well in this system. Eagles group is top 5, David. Dude,
David, stop trying to convince yourself you're better and you're got a better group. How are they going? The only guy that makes sense of that wide receiver group is Dontavian Wicks because he's played in that Mannion system. The other guys, they're journeymen, dude. They're going to be
David,
in the
I don't
same
understand
position.
what you mean, dude. How are you going to say
He
they're
thinks
top
skill set.
5
He thinks skill set.
No, I get what he's saying, but there's no world in the NFL where you opt for a lesser talented player who fits a system better. You just don't do that.
The Eagles have a top 5 wide receiver group with what they have right now. Bro, you take Devontae Smith off that, you're bottom 5. Would you agree with that? You're bottom 10 if you take Devontae Smith off that wide receiver group.
Bottom 10? I think bottom 3.
Yeah, where are you getting that, dude?
With no Devontae Smith?
No Devontae Smith. Where would you put that Eagle wide
Dontavian Wicks was the number 4 or 5 receiver on Green Bay last year. I mean, I'm happy he's doing good, but you want to be a Super Bowl team, David, or you want to be like everybody else? I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Zander, do you think this is Super Bowl offensive talent?
I think it depends on what Jalen does and how much he elevates. I mean, remember, you don't need the best players in the world to win a Super Bowl.
You need the best unit.
You need the best unit. And I don't know if they'll have that, but we'll see. One more here. David, what's up, David? Again, thank you for the super chats, even though your $10 super chat was a goose egg. All right. He says this. I think 2023, they showed they were too AJ dependent. In 2024, they evolved. Where can I get one of these necklaces, fellas? What saint is on those pendants? Who you got, Mary? I got Mary.
This one right here is St. Christopher, and this
that's a good one. I got married. I got this from the Vatican.
This is probably about 150 years old. This was my great-grandfather Rhoda's St. Christopher medal. And he wore this when he came over from Italy. And so this was my grandpa Rhoda's. And my grandma gave me this. So this thing's about probably 150 years old that I got around my neck.
That's pretty wild. I got one in Italy, too. A couple in Italy, actually.
And my aunt gave me one too, and I have one that she's given me.
What do you think of what he says here about AJ, too AJ dependent? Because I have heard some people say that you can get better by. My only problem with it is that they haven't really been a team that spreads the ball that much. You know, so are they going to become that team? Maybe they will without AJ, but I don't know.
Don't you want to get the football in the hands of the best players on your team?
Absolutely.
Well, then why would you think spreading the ball around? Do you think they spread the ball around in Seattle? They don't spread the ball around in Seattle. Puka Nacua led the NFL in touches last year, didn't he? Targets?
Yeah, but I think there's a way that you can.
I think it's the quarterback. Again, what I mean by that is Jalen doesn't spread the ball around. See, David's coming from the side, Zander, that he thinks that Jalen can go from 1, 2, 3, 4. Jalen goes 1, 2, and then he runs to the sidelines. He's never been a 1, 2, 3, 4 guy and keeping his eyes down the field, right? He's been a 1, 2, and then roll out, right?
Yeah. I mean, look at Sig Lord. Guys, all they're trying to do is make Jalen Hurts.
My question is, how is that going to change this year?
Yeah, I don't know. Sig Lords brings up it's like he's like being funny about it, but it's ironic. All they're trying to do is make Jalen Hurts Patrick Mahomes in a few months with a first-time coordinator. It's not a big deal.
Dude, hey, Sig, this is why one of the things that I say that I really hate when people go, well, it's early in camp. No, it's not. It's not like you had – Xander is so right. I got to change that right away, bro. I keep talking two-a-days. I'm like, there's no such thing as two-a-days any longer.
No, certainly not in Philly.
Well, no. Around the league, that's a CBA.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, I agree. I think it is CBA. But
hey, have you ever heard John this pessimistic about an Eagle team?
I told him this morning. I'm like, I don't want to speak for you, but you don't sound too impressed, Johnny Mac.
One last one here for you. Do you agree with this comment I made earlier? This is the least talented offensive football team, skill set wise, maybe even O-line wise, that Hurts has had since 21.
Probably. Aging O-line, aging tight end, Smitty and co, which Smitty's good, but not sure on the rest. Better running back, but yeah, probably.
Well, this is a great thing for Hurts then if he elevates and he does do what you say here, Z.
Yeah. Here's Steve. Let's go to Steve here. Steve, thanks for the super, brother. $10. He says this. I believe that AJ being gone now will help Hurts get the ball out better because he won't be overly concerned with catering to AJ's needs. Peterson's offense was kind of similar to what they'll be running now.
That's all going to come down to the quarterback being able to see it and spread it out.
Hurts did look good when he ran that Doug Peterson offense, but
we'll see, bro. I got to tell you, I don't know.
I don't know about it. I'm having a hard time with AJ's gone and everybody gets better.
Yeah, that's not happening. Eagles, group is top 5.
Eagles wide receiver group top 5 in the NFC. I don't know. I mean,
so you would put the Rams 1. You think you're better than what they have in Chicago? Detroit? Like Jefferson and Addison?
Dude,
you're not better than Jefferson and Addison.
Like, maybe. I mean, Rams, no. 49ers, maybe. Who do they have? No, they have Mike Evans now. Who do they got?
Mike Evans and Pearsall's out.
Yeah, and they just signed. Didn't they just re-sign Debo?
Yeah, they just signed Debo.
Detroit Lions, no. Vikings, no.
Right.
Buccaneers, no. Falcons, probably not. Those guys are ascending. Saints, I don't know. Those Saints receivers are ascending too.
You think you're better
Commanders,
than Romo Odunze and Burden and Colston Loveland?
I don't know. Did Gibbs just get a deal?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for Gibbs to get a
deal.
no,
not Gibbs. I saw that Jonathan Taylor got the gig.
Yeah, they just gave him it. 3 years, $75.75 million extension. Making him the highest paid back in the
running
NFL.
Backs are getting paid. So Seattle, you think you're better than JSN, Cooper Kupp, and Rashid? What is it, Shaheed? You think you're better than those guys?
Almost the same as Bijan.
Okay. How about this one, Z? You think the top 2 wide receivers in Philadelphia are better than the top 2 wide receivers in Washington with Terry McLaurin and Stephon Diggs? Diggs did have 1,100 yards.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. That's true.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Commander's probably better.
Okay. So when he says top 5, and by the way, you're not better than the Cowboys. Cowboys got Lamb and Pickens. You're not even you're at third in your Z. The Eagles are the 3rd best wide receiver group in the NFC East. Here, let me look at the Giants real quick.
I don't know, dude. They might be the worst.
That right. Think about that. Look at the Giants.
Who do the Giants have? Neighbors is good, but he's probably a push with Smitty.
Okay, Neighbors, Darius Slayton, Darnell Mooney.
I'm not taking the Giants group.
Well, do you think that
they
Smitty's
signed
better?
Odell Beckham? I mean, Braxton Berrios. They got
Malachi
Fields, Xavier Gibson, Isaiah Hodgins, Jalen Hyatt. Darnell Mooney, Malik Neighbors.
Do you think the Eagles, Devontae Smith is better than Malik Neighbors?
Do I think who is better than Devontae? Malik? Nah. I think I'd take Devontae. I don't know. I think Neighbors probably has. I don't know. He's pretty good.
He's great, dude. He got hurt last year. He got hurt, I think, in week 4.
He's pretty fucking good.
Huh.
He got hurt though. I never seen Smitty get hurt like that. We got to see on that.
That's one thing
Steve,
that I've been
like
totally
Quick said,
on.
addition by subtraction, not necessarily better. But players with subtle egos will help Jalen. It's on Jalen though. So I agree. I agree with that, Steve.
I agree.
I'm good with that take.
Okay.
All right, let me run, brother.
All right, brother. Have a good one, dude. Hey,
All
by
right,
the
dude,
way, between me and you, congratulations on you, man.
Thank you. Later, dude.
You got it, man. Appreciate him very much. Yes, absolutely here. Cornerbacks, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Tariq Woolen, Keely Ringo, and Mac McWilliams. Let's see here. Let's go back here. Completely underdog. They're going to, let's see happen. Let me go back here. Edge rushers. Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith is not first. It's Jalix Hunt, Jonathan Grenard, then Nolan Smith. And then the rest of those dudes. By the way, that's not a bad group. Those edge rushers, especially with the way Vic is talking about these 2 edge rushers compared to what he did last year when he was talking about Uche and the other dude. Sales and Zam, why let a 1,000-yard wide receiver go to the Commanders? Because here's why. You just made enormous moves. You just made enormous moves. You drafted 2 guys. You signed a guy. It would be a sign of panic. Sills, which player from the Hall of Fame class are you looking forward to hearing their speech? I'll tell you what, I love Larry Fitzgerald. I like Luke Kuechly. Sam can't speak, which is a shame. Sam Mills. Breeze. Love Roger Craig. Dear friends with Roger Craig. If I had to pick, probably Drew Brees. You guys know the story, right? With Brees. So Drew Brees was a San Diego Charger. And they had a guy by the name of A.J. Smith that was the general manager of the team. And Marty Schottenheimer was there. As a matter of fact, Marty Schottenheimer's last year in the NFL as a head coach, he was 14-2. Then he got fired because the decision that was made not to keep Brees over Rivers. Phillip Rivers is a great football player. But Marty said that Brees is the better player. And Brees is the better player. People forget Drew Brees was a Pro Bowler as a Charger before he was a Pro Bowler with the Saints. And Marty wanted Drew Brees as a starting quarterback. He said the guy's better. And Marty's like, this guy's a better ball player. And so at the end of the year, I think it was Kansas City. Kansas City or Denver, the Chargers' final game of the year. They wanted to move Drew Brees. A.J. Smith did, the general manager. Marty was completely against it and didn't want to play him. Well, because they had drafted Phillip Rivers to replace Brees, A.J. Smith did, they put Brees in the game, and Brees blew his shoulder out. And Marty Schottenheimer went nuts. And they had to let the guy go for nothing. They got nothing. They just cut him. And if you remember right, Dante Culpepper, who had gotten hurt with Minnesota, hurt his knee or something. Those two guys were the free agents. And Saban had to make the choice between Brees and Culpepper. Well, people were like, Culpepper hurt his knee, not his arm. And Dr. Andrews said that Drew Brees would never be the quarterback, let alone pick up a pencil ever again to be able to write his name. And Dr. Andrews said, I'm going to put him back together like Humpty Dumpty. And so Brees, they put it back together. Sean Payton, Mickey Loomis, and the Benson family took a gamble. They signed Brees. Well, 70-plus thousand yards later, couple Super Bowl appearances, Hall of Fame career, Super Bowl win, MVP. The story writes itself. And so it's a pretty cool story. Brees lives in San Diego still, believe it or not, where it all started from him. And so it started really with Marty Schottenheimer. And then it went to Sean Payton. And yeah, I mean, so I'd like to hear that story. Seals, your thoughts on KNBR firing the great Greg Papa? Absolutely brutal what they did to Greg Papa. I'll tell you something again. I posted a picture of me and Gary Radnich. Gary Radnich gave and helped me get a job at Sports Phone 68 on KNBR. And I started really my broadcasting career at KNBR. And Gary Radnich and John Madden were the reason I got the job. So I took over Sports Phone 68. Then I got a job on the Mighty 10 or on the Ticket 1050, which was a sister station of KNBR and Susquehanna Radio. And Greg Papa got fucked over there by a guy named Bob Fitzgerald. And so he's coming back from cancer. They blow his show out. And he was the voice of the 49ers. And they fired him while he's recovering from cancer. I get people can make changes to their lineup. No doubt about it. People make changes all the time. But the way you do things is how you're going to be judged. And I think it was a pretty shitty way in how they handled him. Greg Papa's good people. He's good people, man. Shitty business, dude. Remember something. I love radio and I love broadcasting. It's the people in it that suck. It's not broadcasting. It's the shitty people in it. So is it possible Hurts just lets it fly in the pass game and throws caution to the wind when it comes to worrying about turnovers? Would you like to see that? Or do like the growth in being smart? I'd rather have him be smart, David, than be Brett Favre. Brett Favre, when he retired, had the most touchdown passes, most interceptions. And I think he underachieved. Hurts has been to as many Super Bowls as Brett Favre has, playing the way he has. And he's got a Super Bowl MVP. Let's not forget, he wasn't the Super Bowl MVP when they beat the Patriots. Desmond Howard was. Breeze was small and tough. Dude, I covered his last college football game. It was Purdue versus Georgia at the Outback Bowl. I was the sideline reporter. And I remember going back and telling my wife right after that game, I was like this, dude, if this guy was 2 inches taller, he'd be the number one overall player taken. And they lost that game, but he threw for like 385. Guy was insane. Just a great player. And I didn't think he was going to be the player. I thought he was too small too. All right. My friends, don't forget our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason. It's because they win. There's no company like them. Look, I told you why the company was started. John's brother got hurt on the job. And Ultima and John put this company together to make sure they defended families like yours. Do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/big sills or pound love 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sills or pound love 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sill sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Live football tonight. Cardinals and Panthers tonight, and then we go through the weekend, and the Eagles will be prepping for Baltimore on the 15th, right? Then we get a full slate of games next week. Then you start really starting the game plan for teams. And by the way, the news tomorrow, let's see if Lane shows up. Guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Thank you so much. 2 to 6 tomorrow on a Football Friday. We shall see you on the flip side.